How you doing, Chucky? Bad boys, ring ring. Is that your little your fucking thing? What is it called? What is that called? A bell, right? My morning's been pretty decent. I don't know why my these numbers are like this for the for my tax thing, but it's there. Yeah, it's there. So, we're just kind of keeping it there. So, but we're about to watch another trial thing. And we're watching Daryl Brooks trial, but a compilation of it. So, prepare yourself. Didn't people do that? I'm pretty sure I've seen like stuff of that where people play. Oh my gosh. Do you see the emotes? You guys broke it. Hello. Okay. Well, we have a border of emotes at the bottom. So, hi Devin. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? More true crime. Yes. I never watched any of this, so it's going to be interesting seeing how he represents himself. Keezus, what's up? How you doing? Hello. Sorry for mooring you yesterday. Mooring you. Maureen as Ghostface. I apologize. But how you doing today? Hello. Also, we were celebrating Chop getting that verification. Why is this like that? Maybe I just gotta get rid of this then. Okay. Well, actually, I probably just have to refresh it. What they gonna do? Looking for you. Oh my, why are you doing this? Hello? Refresh. Okay, well, it's not going to. So, spoiler alert, he represents himself poorly because he loses the trial. You just had to? Yes. I hadn't played Killer in a very long time on DVD, and so I was just itching for it, okay? But you weren't the only one, so that's okay. All right, we ready for this? We're making another vessel painting, but we're doing red and gold like his old mask. And yet, okay, we are in for a good time. We're putting captioning on. Okay, all right, there we go, and we're taking off. Let's go.
So what? It threw people off a loop. They weren't ready for it. They scared of it. That's what it is. Come on, man.
Mr. Brooks.
Come on, man. Stop.
When you
Stop
aren't
Stop
even
it. You're a
letting me
public
ask the
servant, Your Honor.
question.
It is a full recap of the incredible trial of Darrell Brooks Jr. from odd beginnings to an intense end. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Enjoy those emotes
What
too.
an interesting
Keys.
and bizarre few
almost
weeks
said
we've had
Kivas.
following the Darrell Brooks trial out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. As you know, we've
Wisconsin,
been following this
you
trial both
guys,
here on Sidebar
represent.
and on the Law and Crime Network. And this
Thank
was
you
the
for saying
case about
thank
the
you,
man
too.
who was charged with 76 criminal counts for driving a red SUV into a group of holiday parade goers back in November of 2021, killing 6 people, injuring dozens of others. Now, I will tell you, I have covered a lot of trials
he was
here on
staring
Law and
quite
Crime, and
hard.
I can honestly tell you that this was the one unlike any other, and also probably one that will be very hard to forget. So we figured, why not do a bit of a recap of the entire trial, highlighting some of the...
You guys, what do you say when you put somebody in a suitcase and they say they can't breathe? What do you say? Come on. Come on. There you go. You say, fuck you. Exactly. Keys, where are you going with that? Yeah, fuck you. It wasn't intentional. There we go.
These key moments.
I'm so
And
proud
really
of you guys.
The best place to start, I'm sure you guessed it, was when Brooks decided to fire his defense lawyers and represent himself.
Do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
Yes, I do.
Before, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would like to represent myself pro per.
What does that mean to you, sir?
Pro Kurt.
Explain to me that request.
Again, because I've already said it on record, to represent myself as a sovereign citizen.
Yell it at the cart. Yeah, that made me
I'm not
laugh.
going to make a determination, sir, whether you're a sovereign citizen or not. It's not relevant to my determination how you characterize who you are. So if you are allowed to represent yourself in this case, sir, you will not have attorneys assisting you. If I let them withdraw, they are gone from this case. Do you understand that?
I think I will probably be better
Yeah, do you think
served
he's
representing myself.
And Judge Darrow did allow Brooks to represent himself. Now, he may look
What's up,
back on that
Carlos?
decision and say that probably wasn't the best choice. But what was fascinating is that Brooks identifies as a sovereign citizen. This is someone who doesn't really believe that they are under the jurisdiction of the government, that they're
Sounds
exempt
good,
from
Crip.
U.S. laws, which is seemingly why he would make repeated statements about his legal name or statements that would undermine the authority of the court and the trial.
Sir, did you hear me tell you about the penalties for these offenses just now?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges.
I'm not asking you that, sir. Did you hear me advise you of the penalties for hit and run resulting in death?
I don't understand.
Mr. Brooks, any questions for this witness?
Jesus.
Yes, I do. For the record, I don't consent to that name. Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
The written decision that I previously entered is what I will stand on. I'm not going to address it any further.
Is that verified proof? Can we address subject matter jurisdiction and still has to be proven for the record?
I decline to do so.
Ah, yes, the infamous subject matter jurisdiction
Don't
argument that he
consent
made
to that
throughout the
name. What
trial,
does that even
till
fucking
the very
mean?
end. And it's an issue that really has no basis
He
in
goes
law
to
because
jail.
this court does, in fact, have the jurisdiction to handle this criminal case.
Wait, what happened?
But as the
Christian?
trial
What'd you
progressed,
do?
Brooks became even more.
But congrats
argumentative
on
and would
affiliation.
Constantly interrupt the judge. to the
Super
point
proud
that
of
he
you
would
for
get
that.
kicked out of court and placed in a neighboring courtroom with audio and visual tools so he could see and hear everything. But it was intense and bizarre nonetheless.
Before, I need to make a record that at
What is
8:42 a.m., this court ordered Mr. Brooks be removed from the courtroom due to repeated interruptions and disruption with the court. You can see that he is seated with his back to the court or to the camera. He took his shirt off as well. I'm also told that he is threatening to throw and break items.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning of it. So we're going to get more into Brooks's behavior in a minute, but
Carlos,
let's get
they're
into
doing
the
pretty
meat
good.
of the case, what this case is really about. We want to get into the actual crimes here. So several witnesses to this parade attack actually testified in graphic detail about what they saw and about what they heard.
So then you said you heard something?
Oh yeah, you heard. I heard and saw the impact.
Tell us about
If you
that,
ever
please.
heard a car hit another car or an abutment or a deer, if anybody's ever hit a deer with their car, you've heard it.
Bruh.
I watched the body fly up onto the hood, and her head snapped back, and the body remained on the hood as it passed the side of my vehicle
Holy shit.
to where I thought I could have just reached out and grabbed her.
So this happened that close to you.
Yes,
You saw all this with your own two eyes.
yes,
Did the car continue past you?
yes.
Where did it go?
The car veered kind of in front of me. I saw brake lights and saw
nice, Buzzer.
what was Jane
It was a
fall off the hood.
Christmas parade?
He proceeded to, and she was basically on the right side of his vehicle, and he proceeded to run her over with the right front tire, then the right rear tire. And at that point, I was just focused on the body on the ground, but I remember hearing the roar of the engine
Dude.
again.
Sykes,
See the red SUV
congratulations.
strike any people in the Catholic community group?
Several,
Can you estimate how many?
at least 15.
Okay. And did, I'm sorry to ask it this way, but did you see anybody like actually fly or
Robert.
roll or tumble?
Yeah, so originally I heard sounds like thuds, and then it was in the air, like bowling pins.
Okay.
And not only is this kind of incredible to have a murder case to actually have
Sir.
eyewitnesses to a crime,
Oh.
let alone these many eyewitnesses, but they also were able to ID Brooks as the driver of the car.
I saw directly through the driver's window.
What did you see?
I saw a man focused on the group ahead of him.
Bruh.
Is that Daryl Brooks that you saw?
Yes.
Do you see the driver of the red SUV in the courtroom here today, Officer Schneider?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled, she may answer.
I'd ask Mr. Brooks be directed to remove his mask so that Officer Schneider can identify him, please.
Objection, I never heard an answer to the question.
It has not been answered, Mr. Brooks. Please remove your mask. Thank you.
Officer Schneider, is the driver of the red SUV that you've just described for this jury present in this courtroom today?
Objection,
Yes.
hearsay.
Can you please point him out by where he's seated and what he's wearing?
He is seated over here at the table wearing a gray suit.
That's the man you saw driving the red SUV as it sped past you?
Yes, it is.
And as strong as that was, it's not even the only evidence the prosecution laid out. They also showed the defendant's police interrogation tape. You see,
Oh yeah.
after
absolutely.
Brooks drove
Those
his
are-
car into the parade, police were alerted to a man going door to door to try to get help from people seemingly trying to evade law enforcement. Well, he eventually was arrested and he was brought in for an interrogation. And in this interview, the investigators don't initially ask him about the parade. Instead, they make it seem like it's just about a domestic violence incident that he was involved in. You see, prosecutors would say that Brooks actually got into a fight and attacked his ex-girlfriend, Erica Patterson, before driving the car into the parade. And maybe he ended up doing what he did out of anger. You know, the motive has never really been clear here about why he did, but maybe it had to do with the fight with Erica Patterson. Well, just listen to Brooks's reaction when he realizes
Oat milk
what's
cookie.
really going on.
We been cool, man, the whole time. If I did something wrong,
That's why they were
serious-
here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darrell.
And I'm like, what
Hey,
if it's
listen to
that?
me for a minute.
I
I can give you a clean slate here.
I apologize.
Because you have lied to us as well. Because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key. Alright? So what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. You understand what I'm saying? Start over. Because you're not giving us an accurate story.
What do you mean, Christian?
What if it wasn't me driving?
Equivalent to.
What if it wasn't you? What if it was my mom's truck? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't driving. Mm-hmm. What if it was you? What if it wasn't me?
What?
Who else would it be? That's what I'm asking. Not me.
That's not you.
Bro.
That's not you.
No, I don't.
Darrell.
That's
Darrell.
That's you.
That's you, Darrell.
Is he trying to say that
Why
it
you
wasn't
feel like
him
that?
driving the car?
Oh, right. He wasn't driving, but what happens if he knows who was? Right, yeah, that's what makes sense here. Suspicious behavior? I would say so. He seems more concerned with the tactics that police use than really giving them good explanations. Now, Brooks, like I said, represented himself throughout the course of this trial. And to give you a sense, this is where he went when he cross-examined the state's witnesses. You can kind of see his defense.
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping its horn?
I imagine that the driver was angry and wanted to get through the crowd.
And how did you come to that determination?
I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times people get angry, they're late, they beat their horn at you in a way that is because they're upset and they're trying to get past you.
Do you know that for sure?
You asked me my opinion.
Yes, I did ask your opinion. Now I'm asking you, do you know for sure if the driver of the vehicle you observed was in fact angry?
I assume that he was.
You thought because of that sound that there had to be some mechanical problems
we are painting
going on with the engine.
another portrait of Vessel from Sleeptoken.
But it was your first initial thought, correct?
Correct.
And you were able to hear that sound and come to a conclusion that possibly there were mechanical issues all in a few seconds.
A lot runs through your mind at that point in time. Yes.
Mechanical issues.
And you can see Brooks seemed to suggest a few things here. One, maybe it wasn't the intention of the driver to hit anyone. Maybe he was honking to get people out of the way. And two, maybe there was a mechanical issue with the SUV and the driver lost control. The only problem with that is that a state inspector testified to the complete opposite. He reviewed the steering wheel, the tires, the brakes, the gas pedals, and said that there was no mechanical issue that the driver would have lost control. And also, even putting that aside, the honking, if you honk, but you didn't stop, what does it matter? That's the point. He drove the car. He didn't stop. He kept mowing people down. Doesn't matter if he honked. But what made this trial so different and so out there was the defendant's behavior as he represented himself. Because he would constantly interrupt the judge and bring up these legal theories that had no basis in fact and law. And the ups and the downs with his behavior were so startling. And at one point, let's begin. After he had a few of these outbursts, he actually apologized.
I would like to issue the court an apology from me in regards to my actions last week during the trial. I just want the court to understand it's very emotional right now, not only for just the whole situation of the trial. The families here that have to go through, everything that's going to be involved with the trial, but also my family as well and myself is very, very emotional. But not to excuse my actions, I should carry myself with better respect than that. I wasn't raised that way.
The I wasn't raised that way is really something else. But we all knew this didn't last long.
I'm a grown man with grown kids. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Nobody.
Nobody gonna talk to you like what? You kidding me? Like you are in court because you killed people and didn't stop when you ran them over. So all this whole respect for you because you are an adult? Nah, you're gonna sit your ass down and you're gonna listen to what I have to say. That's me if I were the judge, but obviously not really because you can't really say stuff like that, but yep. This is what she told him to stop talking. Oh, perfect.
I don't have a problem with doing what you asked me to do, not tell me. Just like when I asked you about subject matter jurisdiction that you have yet to prove on the record. But somehow I'm being intentionally disruptive. Come on, man. Stop. Just stop it.
Jury's coming out.
All rise for the jury.
Not gonna work.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And it only got worse.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game. I don't take this as a game. That's what nobody you don't gotta explain nothing to me. That's what you don't understand. You think that this is a whole game to me. This is not a game to me, Your Honor.
Now, in fact, there was one point when he got so angry. You see, Brooks had called as a witness his ex-girlfriend, Erica Patterson. Now, she had previously testified for the state, and it's alleged that Brooks got into a fight with her and attacked her right before he drove the car into the parade. And Brooks, when he had her on the stand, what he wanted to do was introduce these photographs to arguably show that she wasn't a credible witness and also a bad mother. So when prosecutor Zach Witchow talked about what would happen if these photos were allowed into evidence, he said that he'd have no choice but to reveal something very negative about Brooks's past. And again, this was all outside the presence of the jury. And thank goodness, because look how Brooks blew up.
Second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has. He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada, and for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual seduction, pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense, and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
Furthermore,
I'll object to that.
I'm not
because
done.
that's a lie.
Let him
Because at
finish.
the end of the day,
Let him finish,
if we gonna open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she was when we met.
interrupting.
We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top
ask that?
animated
Did you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
no,
finish.
I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record.
My, oh my.
Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he can show it is inadmissible, she will not be questioned. And under 906.11, I will declare the cross-examination closed. Thank you. We're in recess. 1 hour.
Get your facts straight. So let's open the door on all of it then, so we can get all of it on the record. Since you think you know so much.
Bruh, shut the fuck up.
Did you know she said she was 18 when I met her? Did you know that?
And if you thought that was bad, the worst of the worst is when at one point the judge had to stop court proceedings because she was actually scared of Brooks.
So as long as the jury's out, we should probably discuss that. I would like to provide the defendant and the court with a copy.
So that had to be said. So it's the defendant.
That's not how it was said.
That was how I said. You want to run the record back?
Mr. Brooks.
So I'm the only one. I got one.
Mr.
I got one
Brooks.
ear that work, and I heard that.
This
Come on,
is
man.
to benefit you so
No,
that
it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of
your
this to benefit
witness
me, so let's be
has
clear
a
about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom, and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record of
voice
Abel
just for
Lescott.
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I accept the value in return for value this document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can
believe
you
he
explain?
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI 2nd from 1997, and OWI 3rd from 1997, and OWI 4th from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared.
Now, despite all of these outbursts, the judge moved forward with the trial. She gave Brooks a lot of leeway. She continued to allow him to represent himself. She didn't kick him out of the court all the time, although it happened a lot. And I've said it before because a lot of people have asked, why did she do that? Well, a common theory is that she did this because she wanted to preserve the record for appeal. That if he gets convicted, an appellate court can't say that the judge acted unfairly to Brooks, that she gave him every warning, every admonishment, and the only person that torpedoed Brooks's case was Brooks himself. And that also included when the judge said to Brooks that he forfeited his right to call any more witnesses or take the stand himself because he refused to answer her questions. Now, he claimed he couldn't hear what was being said when he was in the adjacent courtroom, but an IT specialist and a bailiff testified that the volume was loud and clear. Either way, after this, after Brooks was told that he forfeited his right to present a defense, he was particularly upset.
My final question to you, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
I just told you, am I muted? Am I muted?
No.
I just told you, I don't know how many times, I can't hear everything you say.
Wait, is
Then
he
you
on
should put the
video?
headphones on.
Don't you understand? What about that don't you understand? Did you see headphones? You can see everything. You can see boxes, but did you see headphones?
Have you asked for headphones to be provided, sir?
I shouldn't have to ask whom. I asked for my boxes to be moved.
I believe they took them away previously because you were so agitated. They were perhaps afraid you might break them.
I'm still agitated. I ain't gonna stop being agitated. That ain't gonna stop.
He literally throws a fucking tantrum.
Do everything you doing. They think God don't see what you doing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Talking to a judge, it's just shocking. Well, with him forfeiting his right to present a further defense, the trial headed for the end a lot sooner than we anticipated. I mean, it would have been really something and very interesting to have Darrell Brooks testify, take the stand, and particularly be cross-examined. But alas, it was not meant to be, and given his noncompliance, we move forward.
Oh, I
with the
believe
closing
it.
Arguments. This is
I
the last
believe it was
attempt at
temper
closing
tantrum
arguments
after temper
for both
tam-
sides
yeah.
to persuade this jury to vote a certain way. Closing arguments are not evidence; they're basically a summation of the case. First up, prosecutor Sue Opper.
He had plenty of opportunity to just stop anywhere along the way. One of the officers testified to it. I think it was Officer Schneider. If this was an accident and he mistakenly wandered onto the parade route after passing all this, and he mistakenly wandered onto the parade route, at any point, all he had to do was stop.
Yep.
They could have paused the parade. They could have moved the barricades and escorted him out. He didn't. It was intentional. He went on for 4 blocks. 4 blocks. It was intentional. He reached speeds of approximately 30 miles an hour. That's intentional. He plowed through 68 different people. 68. How can you hit 1 and keep going? How can you hit 2 and keep going? How can you hit 3 and keep going? Didn't faze him a bit. He kept going until he got to the end, and there was no more bodies to hit. It's intentional.
Again, she's really focusing on the intent here. She's focusing on the 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide in particular, and that if you had any question about what he was doing, just look at his actions. But Brooks had a response. A defendant or a defense attorney can present a closing argument. Obviously, he's representing himself, and he presented the closing argument, and he went into areas that he really wasn't allowed to go, though.
You should be informed that you have the power.
Right, Kat?
To nullify any law that you don't agree with.
Objection. Move to strike misstatement.
Sustained.
Objection.
I will strike from the record the last statement made by the defendant. The jury will disregard it.
Which is clearly what I've been saying. I believe that not only is it fair, but it's essential that you be privy to all knowledge, not knowledge that certain people feel that you should hear and shouldn't hear, disguised under the color of law. But the fact of the matter is,
bro, what are you saying?
the vehicle in question, make and model of 2010 Ford Escape. The vehicle in question, actually 2008, 2009, and 2010 of that model was in fact recalled.
Objection. Misstatement of the facts. Facts not in evidence.
Was in fact.
Improper argument, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Was in fact recalled. Was in fact a class action lawsuit against Ford.
Objection.
For those
Facts not
models,
in evidence,
for
Your
those
Honor.
model vehicles.
Sustained. The jury will disregard.
Information that you should have been privy to, that you weren't allowed to be privy to. Why? I don't know. That information, malfunctioning throttle bodies.
Mr. Brooks, move on.
Okay, so first, A defendant can't argue jury nullification. Jury nullification is when a jury decides a case not based on the facts and the law, but some other reason, political, emotional. They're not allowed to do that. And that's what Brooks is basically advocating for here. He's basically saying, even if the prosecution proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he's guilty, you, jury, have the power to say otherwise. You can say not guilty. And this is despite objections from the prosecution and an order from the court telling him not to do it. He kept saying it. And by the way, the idea of a malfunctioning car, as we discussed, not only was there no evidence to suggest that wasn't even the case, but you can't argue something that wasn't presented in evidence. There was no evidence presented at trial about a recall or a class action. So all of this was irrelevant. Well, the jury was ultimately handed the case, and after about 3 hours and 15 minutes, the jury came back with their verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information, dated this 26th day of October 2022, signed by the foreperson. Hey, you are to be removed right now. You will not do that.
There you have it. They found him guilty across the board of all 76 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, which carry a mandatory sentence of life in prison. And at the time of this recording, the sentencing date hasn't been set yet, but we believe that the victims' family members, they're all going to have an opportunity to make statements, and also Mr. Brooks and anyone on his side can make statements as well, and we're definitely going to follow it and hopefully report on it here on Sidebar. But I do want to leave you with this before we go. As much as this trial and the attention to this trial focused on the actions and behavior of the defendant, we can't forget what this case is really about, and that is the victims, and particularly the 6 people who were killed in this nonsensical tragedy. And that's all we have for you, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sidebar. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
If he was sure the guy was being professional until Brooks said, yeah, but are you sure? And dude responded, yeah, I saw you. Brooks said, but how do you know, witness? Because I have eyes. That dude just said it earlier today. Yeah. That guy was like, it was the like older man, wasn't it? But yeah, how do you necessarily sit there and like obviously there are some screws that are loose up there, you know what I mean? Like, but how do you represent yourself and think that you are going to persuade people that, for one, it wasn't you that was doing it, that how do people know that it wasn't somebody else driving? Like, what goes on in somebody's brain for that? And again, I know that it comes down to, like, obviously not being all there, but he had a music video, though, you said? Do we need to watch that? Music video? That's insane. And to sit there and try and say that you had no clue what was happening. Like, get the fuck out of here. Or that it could have not been you.
Just gotta know.
I just got a load worth about a half a ticket. 30 in the blicker when I'm out here chasing chicken. Was observant to the game when I used to play the benches. Now I swipe Da Vinci, got him looking at me different. I can't miss him, yeah. AR with extension, yeah. Venom when I kiss him, yeah. Kidnap you and misses, yeah. Work all in the kitchen, damn. Money by the ceiling fan. Shorty wanna take a chance, I'ma need a cash advance. Only fuck with real gritters, and I've been around gorillas ever since a little nigga fucking on my babysitter.
Well, sorry Twitch, sorry YouTube. It was it wasn't me. He went upstairs and accidentally took a nap. That's what it seems like. Okay. Let me see really quick. We're gonna do another. Oh, we're watching Daryl Brooks' trial. I'm trying to see what was another one that. Hold on. Hold on. I have to pee really, really quick, okay? 1 second. To the objection to music video. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there's this one that killer couple thinks they got away with murder and they didn't. This was 9 days ago. We might have to watch that one. Oh yeah, the fort.
They were allowed to say something, and I said under my breath that was disrespect.
I
They
would
just
direct
did the
both
same
parties
thing.
to avoid commentary.
Okay, well, can
and
you do that,
gestures
please, and
faces.
admonish them?
Yes,
Because
I
I'm
will.
always the one
Absolutely.
getting admonished.
Everyone.
I take that as disrespect too.
Sir, I'm good. Can I do my job? State's directed to avoid laughing commentary. I didn't see it, so I can't further comment. I was looking at
All these
the
cameras
witness.
in here, don't nobody
However,
never see nothing.
I'm advising both parties to show
Come on, man,
decorum
this is not fair.
and restraint, to
I
be
would-
respectful of this jury's time and attention, and to let them do their job by focusing on the testimony and exhibits and evidence that's presented. Go ahead, Detective Casey, you can answer the question about when you have seen this video prior to today.
I saw the video within a few days of Mr. Brooks being arrested. I've reviewed it since then a few times. I reviewed it yesterday and again this morning, and now in court again.
You said you reviewed it yesterday and this morning. If you had seen this video numerous times before yesterday and today, why did you feel the need to view it yesterday and today?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Why did you need to review it this morning?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Because I wanted to be 100% sure of the content, and if there's any questions that were asked of it, I wanted to make sure that I would be able to answer them appropriately.
And why was this, to your knowledge, why was this video never brought up in your earlier testimony?
Objection, that's a
Grounds.
misstatement, Your Honor.
Sustained as to the
not
form
brought
of
up
the
in
question
your
assumes
testimony.
facts not in evidence.
If you had seen it numerous times before today, why did you need to see it again to make sure if any questions were asked, or however you refer to it? What would be the need to view again this morning something that you had viewed numerous times before.
Sir.
I'll see what my
Objection, objection, compound, asked and answered, misstatement of the facts, argumentative.
Sustained.
Did you view the video this morning because you knew that the video would be made an exhibit this morning?
Objection, assumes facts, not in evidence.
Sustained. As to the form of the question.
This is mind-boggling.
Such. Yeah. So.
Can you clarify again why you viewed the video this morning?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
So you're gonna sustain everything?
It was already answered, sir.
Yep.
Next question, please.
And I'm asking for clarification.
Next question, please.
I don't got no more questions, man.
All right, thank you.
This is mind-boggling.
Detective, you may step down. I'll excuse the jury.
What you people was trying to do is not fair. Hide things from the jury repeatedly. You don't
The
tell
fact
them
that
all
he
the
keeps on
information
talking
they
about
need
I'm
to
going
know.
to take up all of your objections outside the presence of the jury. I'd ask that you honor my decision to do that and you show courtesy and decorum.
Because you asked.
Mr. Brooks, please.
Because you asked. That's the only reason, because you asked. I see what you people are trying to do. It's not right. It's not fair and it's not right.
Yeah, Zarkov.
You can have a seat. Well, once the jury's outside
Exactly,
of the courtroom,
Kat.
I'll take up the objections previously in the evidence. All right. First of all, Attorney Hopper, if you can make a record as to this exhibit and whether it's been turned over previously.
It was previously included in the initial discovery that was sent initially to the public defender's office, and now we have a record that those 3 boxes were turned over to Mr. Brooks.
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name, and it was not in the video footage that I have obtained. That video was not part of it. Do you think I would sit here and
What
be
does he mean
this
with his
irritated
name, though?
Mr.
by
Brooks, I need to
something
make
that
a
I saw?
record, so just please sit down. There's no need for you to stand at the moment.
I feel like standing right now.
Please sit down.
I feel like standing.
Bruh.
All right, based upon the offer of proof provided by the state, and it was provided to prior counsel, that satisfies me as to that
Hi,
issue.
Audie.
That's
I
inaccurate.
indicated
That's
I would-
inaccurate, Your Honor. Can we have the prior counsel testify to that then?
Not at this time, sir.
I have not obtained that.
But yeah, we'll see.
Right now, that was my
Maybe a
first time
future thing.
seeing that as an exhibit. That's
Mr.
why I
Brooks, I
raised the issue.
presume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're familiar with that video? Yes or no?
What does that have to do with what we're talking
Because
about?
I'm gonna make a finding based upon what I viewed in that video, that there is absolutely no surprise to you. It appears to me, even without the video, that that's a music video, that you are in it, that the vehicle that has been the subject of this entire case, that red Ford Escape with the plate that's been testified to, is in that video. That video is relevant for a number of different reasons, the first of which, it goes to identification of you, identification of the vehicle. You opened up the door through your cross-exam of Detective Casey about his ability to identify you in that video. And when I say identification of you, specifically as it relates to Detective Casey's opinion that that's you in the video, of course, it's ultimately up to the jury to determine that. And what relevance, if any, evidence have, but you opened up the door for the state to show that video because you directly attacked the credibility of Detective Casey
gotcha, Crips.
through his knowledge of it and the identification by him of you in it because the still image was of your back.
Okay.
So that opened up the door, and it's proper. There's absolutely no surprise to you that that video exists, and that is my finding as it relates to that.
What do you mean by it's no surprise to me that it exists? That was not the issue. The issue was how was it made an exhibit at the last moment? How does it be made an exhibit out of the blue? That was the issue. The issue
State can make
didn't
an
have
offer of
anything to
proof
do
on
with.
that, because obviously they marked it as an exhibit.
But
They
with
had
all
it,
respect,
so go
Your
ahead,
Honor, you're
Attorney Opera.
mischaracterizing what I said, and the record needs to be clear. The issue that I raised was, how does this, at the last minute, out of the blue, become an exhibit?
Attorney
That
Opera,
was the
go
issue.
ahead and make your offer of proof on that.
Thank you, Judge. And another thing worth noting is the testimony of Detective Casey that this video was obtained from the defendant's own Facebook account as well. The court is well
Objection.
aware.
He said social
There's
media. He
nothing
didn't say what it was.
Sir, stop interrupting. We have to make a record of it. You've
Then make the record
interrupted
clear.
multiple times. I've been abundantly patient
record
with
clear.
you. Again, another interruption. So you need to be quiet and let the state make a record. Stop gesturing at
asking me
me.
to be quiet?
Stop rolling your eyes at me. Stop
I'm
mumbling.
looking right at you. I'm not rolling my eyes.
No, you
I'm
have
looking.
throughout. I've seen it
I'm
and
looking.
I've made note
I'm
of
looking
it.
at you. Okay, so are you asking me to be quiet, or are you telling me to be quiet?
Go ahead, Attorney Opera.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm gonna take that
And
as
just
action.
to indicate, Your Honor, this court has been abundantly patient with Mr. Brooks. He challenges the court's authority repeatedly. This court absolutely has the ability to tell him to sit down and be quiet. And you haven't done that. And I know why you haven't done that, Your Honor, and we appreciate that. He is not in control of this courtroom. You are. And he needs to respect that. This video was relevant based on his questioning of Detective Casey, as you just indicated, challenging his ability to identify the person who had their back turned to the camera in the still shot of State's Exhibit 175. Trials are fluid. When he opened the door to that, we came up with the video which Detective Casey testified repeatedly on direct examination and cross-examination as to how he knew that was Mr. Brooks, because he had seen the rest of the video. He would not accept that. He pushed it and pushed it and pushed it until we played the video. The lyrics of that video probably would have been prejudicial. Originally, I wasn't going to ask for volume. Then I did, because he pushed it again, and his voice and his mannerism of speech, I thought, would have assisted the jury in identifying Mr. Brooks as the person in the video with the red SUV. However, you smartly asked me to play it without the audio, and I did that, and then I never went back to that. This is all to the benefit of this defendant, who continues to suggest and impugn the integrity of this court and this prosecution without basis. He doesn't like it because the evidence is stacking up and stacking up. And whenever it does, his response is to accuse you, the court, or the prosecutors of being unethical and hiding things. There is nothing in law that prevents me from pulling something out of my briefcase right now and making it an exhibit if it's relevant. You decide what's relevant, what's admissible, not Mr. Brooks. There is no law, he can cite to no law, no authority whatsoever that says I can't make an exhibit essentially on the fly if it's called for, and that's exactly what just happened here. So I apologize for my tone with the court. I don't mean to direct this at the court. It is very frustrating. The court has demonstrated much more patience than I have with Mr. Brooks, because again, I do not appreciate his impugning the integrity of these proceedings, of Your Honor's efforts to run a fair trial, and of our efforts to run a fair trial. We have ethical obligations as well to be fair in this courtroom. We have respected that entirely. The reason I was laughing 30 seconds ago was because the exhibit was mislabeled. There was an extra Y and it said Exhibity, EXHIBITY. And I turned around to the paralegal and pointed that out, and we laughed over it, the word exhibity. That was it.
I mean,
there
fair.
has been
I
no
would
disrespect directed at Mr. Brooks directly in any fashion. So he can object all he wants, and he has made that clear. He will continue to object and obstruct the court and obstruct these proceedings every last chance he gets. But legally, everything has been above board and proper, And this exhibit is no exception.
Period.
I apologize for my tone, Judge.
Thank you. I appreciate that additional record being made.
I object to that.
Oh
My previous ruling doesn't change in any way that the exhibit is relevant. I indicated I would take it up because, and I'm taking what the state's saying
homie,
as
what are you
withdrawing the
objecting to?
request to play the lyrics.
That is correct.
All right. I have not heard them, but I'll certainly take the state at its word as an officer of the court that it would be prejudicial based upon the lyrics that are in that video, but my decision to admit the video without audio stands. I do want to take up two other issues. There was an objection to questions regarding cross-examination. So the objections were by the state. One had to do with there was questioning about possible testimony with his niece and nephew, and then the jail cell search issues. So Mr. Brooks, you asked the questions. The state had objected. Since you're the proponent of what would presumably come in through the testimony of Detective Casey, what is your offer of proof as to why I should allow Detective Casey to come back on the stand and testify about his interaction? I believe it was with your mom and possible testimony of your niece and nephew.
It don't matter with Detective Casey. He's off the stand. He's not going back on the stand.
No, but I told you I would recall him. I wanted to take it up outside the presence of the jury.
How do I supposed to know?
So are you withdrawing that, sir?
How am I supposed to know? I think I deserve a chance to rebut what was just said. I think I deserve that much if it's a fair trial.
Bro, you don't deserve
what information
shit.
Do you want to provide to me about that last exhibit?
About what last exhibit?
Telling
I'm
you
talking about the audacity of the prosecution to just put that on the record when it's stating it's untrue.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's untrue?
We just heard her talk for 5-10 minutes straight. Now don't nobody know what I'm talking about.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about,
There's a reference
sir.
made to what I'm supposed to know about the evidence stacking up and this and that, as if that has any bearing on what I still think and what I'm still going to present. It doesn't.
Well, that's not what we're talking about at the moment. I made a ruling on an
She's
exhibit.
been laughing and making comments under her breath the whole time during the whole trial, and I never said nothing. I don't know what's being said, but I can tell that it's directed towards me. I'm not an idiot.
I haven't made any of those observations,
I didn't
sir.
say
What
you.
I've observed,
I didn't say you, Your Honor.
No.
But
What I've observed is
for her, listen, please.
Go ahead.
For her to sit there and try to play it off as if she's not referencing to me, she must think I'm an idiot.
Nobody
That is
said
very
that, sir.
disrespectful to me. I haven't said anything about that until today. She's done it numerous times.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're
Laughing
talking
under her
about.
breath. Her trying to cover up the microphone so they can laugh and he and key. That they've been doing that the whole time. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about it.
I have not noticed that. What I notice are 3 attorneys who cover up the microphone so that they're not heard when they're conferring with each other about evidentiary issues or about testimony.
So why is it always laughing and giggling?
I haven't noticed that other than the one thing you pointed out.
Well,
today,
we have cameras. That's what the cameras
Mr.
are for.
Brooks, let's refocus our attention on what we're here for, and that's
Okay,
this trial.
then I take that
Do
as
you have anything you want to put on the record?
I'm putting it on the record
As
if I
it
get a
re-
chance.
No, you need to let me finish. As it relates to the video and my decision to admit it.
She just admitted that she just now came with the exhibit. It was not, she just made it an exhibit. It was not an exhibit before she made it one.
So do you have some legal basis, sir, for your position? Because I'm not
What do
aware
I
of any.
need legal basis for when she just admitted
absolutely.
on the record that she just made this exhibit up
No,
right
she
now?
didn't. That is a complete mischaracterization. Sure, she did not.
That's what, so she wasn't
Create
implying
the
that by saying
exhibit.
that she could
She did
pull
not make
anything
it up.
out of her suitcase.
So that's a figure of speech.
Okay, so what is
All right?
it implying to? What would that be implying to?
As
How would
attorney,
anyone,
all right,
how would
I'm
anyone in
moving
my
on
position?
because you're not providing
How
me
would-
with any
how would
legal basis.
I didn't even finish.
For me
You
to,
told me that I can make the record. I'm intending to make the record.
Sir, as it relates to the video and my decision to admit it.
I just said that you didn't even let me finish.
You're not letting me finish.
You didn't let me finish either, Your Honor.
Because you're not providing me.
But how do you know I wouldn't get to that if I didn't finish?
You're not providing me with anything from a legal basis for which I would consider changing my mind. So the state's withdrawn their request to play the audio.
Then why play the video at all then?
I've already made a ruling on that. You're questioning the ruling. You're not asking me to reconsider it based on any legal basis.
There should be a legal reconsideration of it.
Then you need to provide me with the legal basis for that, sir.
So I'm supposed to just come off that with off the top of my head?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
You're representing yourself. It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So I was supposed to already come in here this morning and say, oh, a video is going to be shown off the fly at the drop of a hat. Let me try to find some legal thing to combat. How am I supposed to do that?
The bottom line is you open the door to the playing of that video.
We're not talking about
opening no doors. And the video was
doors.
previously provided to you during discovery.
We're not talking about opening no doors. We're talking about being fair.
There's absolutely no prejudice to you.
Your Honor,
in terms of surprise.
With all due respect, if I had done that,
I am going to move on.
If I had done that, it would have been a big thing.
I'm advising you.
Are you asking me?
I'm advising you,
Bro,
sir.
the patience of her.
I'm advising you to sit down and be quiet. And if you interrupt me again, you are on notice that you will forfeit your right to be present in this trial.
So you're holding me in contempt.
Mr. Brooks.
For the entire trial? Did you say the entire trial?
I never said any such thing.
You said for the trial.
Please?
So what do you mean? I'm asking, what do you mean?
Mr. Brooks, you continue to
that
come at me.
I don't consent to being called
You
that
continue to fight with me.
I'm not fighting with you.
Disrespectful.
I'm not fighting with you. I'm not.
I'm going to give you one last opportunity to sit down and be quiet so I can make a finding as it relates to other things. I don't need to ask, I'm telling you. Thank you. There were two other issues that came up that I advised the parties I would take up outside the presence of the jury and give, if appropriate, Mr. Brooks the opportunity to ask further questions of Detective Casey. There was questioning by Mr. Brooks about possible testimony and why it had to do with it was in the context of him questioning Detective Casey about speaking with Dawn Woods, his mother, and about a time in August, and there was some reference to his niece and nephew. And I sustained the objection. I wanted to take it up outside the presence of the jury. That's the first issue. The second issue was the questioning of Detective Casey by Mr. Brooks related to the jail search. Do you want the opportunity to question Detective Casey about either one of these two topics is my first question.
Okay, why was it an issue with me bringing it
Mr. Brooks, I'm only going to ask you one more time, and if you don't answer
if I don't understand what was the problem in the get-go with the question, how am I supposed to answer it now?
Mr. Brooks, listen to me, please. I'm going to ask this question one more time.
Man,
it calls for a yes or no.
I don't like your tone and the way you're talking to me. I don't. I don't appreciate it.
Sit down. I don't care if you don't like my tone. You've been pushing my buttons all day throughout this entire trial, and I have shown the utmost of respect for you, and I don't appreciate you impugning the integrity of this court.
If that's what you want to call it, that's fine, but it's not accurate.
Stop talking.
What you mean, stop talking?
I need to make a ruling. Okay, I'm purposely not putting you in the other courtroom right now.
Let's talk to each other like adults then. Because I've never told you to stop talking.
I'm going to ask this question one more time. If he doesn't answer it, I'll take it as a no. Do you want the opportunity to question Detective Casey regarding either his questioning or meeting up with your mom and your niece and nephew about possible testimony, or the search of your jail cell? Yes or no?
What was the problem with me asking the question about the jail cell?
He's not answered my question. We'll move on.
I'm trying to understand. If I don't understand, how do I know? How do I know what I'm supposed to answer if I don't understand? And I don't agree to a stop.
Incredibly loaded blunts. Oh my lord. Is it this one? Is this his rant stuff?
Hello, my name is Emily Gilchrist.
I'm Gare Armbruster.
Isn't that where they do like
on
a
the
tulip
record
festival?
that appearances are as they were before. State have their next witness available.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jury back out.
Don't consent to being called by the name that this court chooses to identify me by. I want to state for the record that I'm here as a third-party intervener on special appearance on behalf of my client. Can that be noted for the record?
Was noted this morning.
Does he say for
May
his
it be
client
noted
when
again
it's
for the
himself?
record so that we can keep the record clear and accurate.
See, what was pretty much incredible, like, for instance, we could bring Ted Bundy's trial into observation when he, at certain point, represented himself. He knew what he was talking about in certain areas. You know what I mean? And this is just an absolute, like, what the fuck are you even doing? Like, what are you trying to do right now? Thank you for the hydrate as well. Appreciate it. Trying to coach her on how to testify and giving her points. Also, letters to his ex with verbally abusive language. Oh, shit. That's insane. So, Airborne, he had lawyers. And then he basically dismissed them. Yeah.
The appearances are as they were this morning. They are no different. Bring the jury out.
And we have yet to address subject matter jurisdiction, Your Honor. I still haven't been shown any verified proof that
All rise.
this court has subject matter jurisdiction. And at this point, may I request an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of interest, and no interest in the outcome of this case?
Mr. Brooks, the jury's coming out. We'll address your legal issues later, if I deem them appropriate.
Judge, do you hold the full
Mr.
judicial
Brooks,
power of the
please,
state, or is this the
please.
military
All right,
power?
Can you please take the jury out?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was very intelligent.
Do you hold the full
Mr. Brooks, just
jurisdiction?
wait till the jury's out, please. I ask that you show that respect.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for him to ask again. Prepare for the cringe. Uh-oh.
Everyone else can be, you all can be seated. Mr. Brooks, just make your statements. What do you want to advise the court today?
I want to first state again for the record that I do not identify by that name, nor do I consent to being called that name. Your Honor, with all respect, I'm merely asking you, do you have the full judicial power of the state, or is this military power?
I'm sorry?
What?
I don't understand what you're asking me, sir.
I'm asking,
And on what legal basis are you making that request?
I'm asking, for the record, is this a common law court or an admiralty court? What are we in here? And I'm requesting an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of interest, or no interest in the outcome of this case. And the reason why I want to state this clearly for the record, mainly is because of the bias that's been shown. I have not been getting any certified copies of any requests that I've made, which I was told by this court
How you doing?
Address inmate communication forms for anything that I may need. I've done that. I've complied with that. Every time I've needed something of the court pertaining to documents, I've done it the way the court has asked me. And I've always stated that I wanted everything to be certified. I have yet to even get that. My court docket sheet.
Also, we are 17
was
away
not
from
a
that daily
certified
sub goal,
copy.
y'all. And I think a couple
When I
more
asked
will
Your
do
Honor
hype train too.
of your oath of office, I
what it
asked
looks
for
like.
that to be certified.
Hi,
You stated
Cosmo.
for the record that you would not give me
How you
a
doing?
certified copy of your oath of office, which you are required to show if I ask for it. I've brought up my Sixth Amendment constitutional right that has been pretty much discarded, and that is based on the fact that I have the right
Chameleon,
to face
what's
my
up?
accuser, which would be the
that
plaintiff,
was
state of Wisconsin, in this matter. They
I'm
have
more
yet
so
to
excited to hang out with
show
everybody.
that a claim is
I haven't listened to like new
a
Linkin
living
Park
human
stuff,
being
so.
can only make a claim. An entity cannot make a claim. I've requested
This is Daryl Brooks,
for the complaint to be
the
provided.
dude that
The complaint from November 23 of 2021.
through
The amended complaint from November 29th
parade.
of 2021. The second amended complaint from January 12 of this year, 2022. I have yet to see those. There was no record of a bond in my docket
and he's
sheet.
representing himself.
I asked for that
'Cause
to
he
be
feels
verified
confident
by
enough
proof.
that he
That
can-
hasn't been provided. There's so many
to let you know,
biases,
it's not
clear
a good idea.
biases in questions that are not being asked based on judicial determinations made by Your Honor. You look at the discrepancies, and I think they're clear. I think at minimum I deserve for the subject matter
Yes, we are.
jurisdiction to be verified and
We're
proven.
doing this one in like
I've
the,
raised that issue numerous
red
times, pretty much
and,
every day, every time I come before your court, Your Honor. I address that, and it has yet to be proven. My filings have been disregarded, even though
like,
they've been
normal
filed
red
into the
color.
record, even though they've been time stamped. I haven't got the original copies of any of them, which I'm supposed to get. And as we sit here today, I'm still not even understanding the nature and cause of the charges. That hasn't even been proven. Can that be provided in any way? I'm basically sitting here confused because I don't understand why
you're
these
being
proceedings
charged?
are allowed to continue when there's so many things that have not been provided. They haven't been provided in my discovery.
Bruh.
They haven't been provided to me by being brought to my pod where I'm housed in the jail. I'm without so much information, valid information to this matter. And I believe that it should be verified and it should be proven for the record. And if not, I move for this case to be dismissed for failure to appear by the plaintiff and failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. Everything that I'm saying, it has merit and it has validity. As we sit here today, I'm still being charged with charges that shouldn't even exist based on the testimony that we've heard for the last few days. There's so many things left to still be proven. The prosecution team hasn't even proven that they're licensed to practice law in Wisconsin. They haven't proven, are they just bar association members, or do they have state issued licenses? That has not been proven, which I've raised that issue for the record. I'm not even sure if that was even recorded in the docket sheet.
Bruh.
There's so many things, and Your Honor, you still haven't stated for the record if you have full judicial power of the state or is this military power. That hasn't been proven.
Yeah, he did those lawyers a favor.
Nothing has been proven. Not subject matter jurisdiction, not licenses to practice law. My Sixth Amendment right has been basically trampled over. No complaints have been shown. Neither of the three that I've requested, by the way that you told me to request them by inmate communication. Nothing is certified that I get copies of when I clearly asked for them to be certified and to be
Not
filed
real
into the record.
lawyers.
it's to the point where
Depends on who's grading.
Your Honor, you should recuse yourself from the presiding at this point. If you're not going to abide by the oath that you swore, which was in your oath, correct? You swore to protect the Constitution of the United States. You swore to protect we the people.
Declaration of Independence.
That is not being done here.
Yes.
If every valid argument that I raised is
like
taken by the court as a
dumbass.
sign of
Absolutely.
disrespect or a sign of trying to intentionally be disruptive or causing a problem, when I'm merely seeking understanding, because I don't understand. I'm merely seeking to understand why this information has yet to be provided and we're this far into this matter.
Well, you
And
probably
there's
would have
still no
understood more
verified proof.
if you
Like,
didn't
even as I sit
fire
now
your
saying this,
lawyers.
there's still no proof being provided.
So.
Zero. How is this case allowed to continue without these documents and filings being verified? Is there any legal factual basis that can state why this information has not been provided? Why the docket sheet is incorrect? Why there's so much on the docket sheet that should be on record that's not even in there? That if we had the recordings of the record, they would see was brought up numerous times that doesn't even show up. I'm just
The fact
asking
that she
for Your
lets
Honor to
him
be
talk
fair,
as much as he does.
which is another right that I have: the right to a fair trial and the right to an impartial
Cosmo?
jury.
What part of the trial does he
I
deem
can go
as
on
not
and
fair?
on and on about what's not being done. I have, again, I say I have the right to face my accuser. Where's the injured party? Who's making the claim? I asked Your Honor numerous times for Your Honor's name. You wouldn't answer. I asked, did you have a claim against me? You did not answer. I asked the whole courtroom, did anyone have a claim against me? No one said anything. Which you stated for the record, a non-responsive answer. A non-responsive answer is an agreement, which will be a tactic agreement by you, Your Honor, that you don't have to answer these questions that you should be answering. I have that right.
Wait.
The plaintiff in this matter, which was stated by witnesses in testimony to be the state of Wisconsin. But when I asked, do they see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom, the question is shut down, which is a valid question. The plaintiff should be present in this matter. Where is the plaintiff? Who's bringing the claim? Because we know an entity can't bring a claim. It has to be a living, breathing human being. No one is stated for the record if they're the injured party.
There are
not Your
actually
Honor,
some human
not the
beings
prosecutors,
who are
not anyone
living and breathing
in the
because
court
of
has
it.
stated to be an injured
So-
party in this matter. No one. Not one person. I have the right to demand that the court place in the evidence any unrevealed contract. Has that been provided to me? Have that been placed in the evidence? I would like to see it, which is my right. I have the right to inform the jury about the truth and their duty and their rights. That's the First Amendment and the Sixth Amendment. But I'm repeatedly told to shut the question down when this is valuable information that the jury should be privileged to know. They deserve to know.
How does she let him
Once they
talk
were
this
chosen
long?
to sit on this jury,
Although it's digging
why are we
himself a
keeping
grave.
information away from them that they deserve to know? They ultimately have the power. They decide the matter. Why are we keeping information, valuable information, from their knowledge?
Thank you for the.
That's a disservice to the jury. And frankly, it's a disservice to the court that they're not allowed to hear things that they should know, that they should be informed of. It's our right
But
to
Shooky, I'll
inform them of
usually
everything that they
say
have
who
the
it's
power to
from or
know, to
something
do, and to know.
if I take it from there.
They deserve that much.
You don't have to, but
It would be a travesty for them to make a decision without being fully informed. And these are all valid things. I have the right to protest and object if any of my rights or demands are not being met. I've done that numerous times, only to be shut down. Numerous
what's up?
times.
How you doing?
I've raised the issues that I didn't consent to anything that may have been suggested on behalf of my former attorneys. I've never even consented to them making a plea on my behalf. I haven't, as a matter of fact, when it comes to a plea, I haven't even had the opportunity to entertain any plea that may have been suggested by the prosecution. We haven't even talked about that. Not one time was it ever brought to my attention that the prosecution even wanted to offer a plea. That's another issue.
He would stop her. Oh, he would stop.
I have the right to challenge the jurisdiction of this court, which I've done numerous times.
We know.
I have the right to demand that the code be construed in harmony with the common law. I just raised that. I'm constantly referred to as pro se when I've raised the issue that I'm pro per. I have the right to conduct my defense pro per, free from professional restrictions imposed upon licensed attorneys, which this court is well aware that I am not a licensed attorney. In fact, the court is also aware that I only had 3 days to prepare for a trial that the prosecution has been prepared for a whole year. We see these boxes right here. This box alone is 45 or 50 pounds full of so much information. I haven't even gone through half of it. It was stated for the record that
whose fault's that?
The discovery, in its entirety, was brung to my housing unit on the 29th of September, which trial was scheduled, that would be a Thursday, which trial was scheduled for Monday. How can I possibly go through all that, all the paperwork, all the digital discovery and things of that nature? How can I go through all of that and be prepared in 3 days? That's a clear bias. I did not have time to prepare for this. Everything I'm doing is off the top of my head, winging it, taking it as it comes. When the court is well aware that I was not prepared, I raised the issue that it should be an adjournment, at least. At the minimum, it should be an adjournment because of that fact. At least to let me go through all the discovery. That was denied.
That's your fault.
No valid reason was stated for that when Your Honor knew there is no possible way, humanly possible, that I could be ready for a trial of this magnitude in 3 days.
I got it.
That's clear bias.
That's your fault.
I have the right to face the injured party claiming damages. That's under Article 3 and the 6th Amendment. I raised that issue again. Where's the injured party? Is the injured party present in court right now?
Well, some of them are dead.
Can anyone make a claim against me? Can you make a claim against me, Your Honor? Do you know of anyone that can make a claim against me, Your Honor? Can anyone right now in court, anyone, make a claim against me? And because of that, Your Honor, the motion to dismiss should be granted based on that alone. There's no injured party in this matter. So who makes the claim? Who?
He's an owl now.
I have the right to put the judge on notice of my intent to appeal and any ruling decisions during the case. You stated for the record that I would have to wait until appealing process, but my right is that I can raise that issue during the case, which I've attempted to do. That's been shut down.
gosh, I would be so terrible with being a judge. It would be bad.
I have the right to specifically
No,
reserve
this
all
was,
of my rights, which I
a
do at
while
the
ago.
beginning. I have the right
We're
to
doing
say what I
crime and
want and to be
canvas.
heard under the First Amendment. And when I attempt to do that,
Well, I probably
it's
shouldn't say
taken
we're
as
doing crime.
a slight to the court, a disrespect to the court, or me intentionally coming into the court to be disrespectful, which I've stated that is not my intention. Never is it my intention. I never intend to walk into your courtroom, Your Honor, and be disrespectful intentionally. I never come into this
So
courtroom
he
to
understands
disrespect
that he's
anyone.
being disrespectful.
But because I don't understand, I raise these issues because they have validity.
Oh yeah, go right ahead, Airborne.
I have the right to object to any statement made by the judge or the prosecution. I've done that and been repeatedly shut down. Without a lawful explanation. I've repeatedly asked the court for a motion for a finding of fact to
Yeah, he's
determine if things are being
disrespectful unintentionally.
done legally. I've been denied that numerous times without merit, which is also my right. I have the right to recuse the judge at any time, which is also a right.
He's been speaking for probably, what,
I
25
have the right
minutes
to a
straight?
speedy
Or
and
no?
fair trial by impartial jury. I think it's safe to say that my speedy trial right has definitely been violated because this matter has been taking place for roughly a year.
Mm-hmm.
I've never consented to waiving anything related to a speedy trial. And if that was done, it was done without my consent or without my knowledge. We're
Yeah,
way
he'll talk
past
for
the
40
speedy
minutes
trial
straight,
date. Way past. When the change of venue motion was brought up, I believe that was the first time I came before Your Honor in early March.
Evil,
I want to say March
yeah,
11th
he's
of this year.
something.
When the change of venue motion came into play. It was decided by Your Honor that wouldn't be decided until the 20th of June, I believe. That's
Yeah, it's not a
that's
valid
over
excuse.
the 90-day mark right there for a speedy trial.
This is Daryl Brooks'
That
case
was denied and
or trial. Yeah,
I still don't understand how that was denied when it's
he doesn't understand a lot of stuff.
clearly obvious that at minimum the venue should have been changed based on the fact of the
Airborne,
magnitude
and I think that's
of the
also
matter.
why she lets him talk.
There's
because
no
he's
possible
just
way
digging himself deeper and deeper.
Anyone in this county would not have some type of connection
54.
or some type of knowledge, whether they were that there is no bias, no conflict of interest, and
Here he
no
goes.
interest in the outcome of this case.
No, I haven't seen him.
There's no proof if you
Excuse me.
hold the full judicial power of the state, or is it the military power?
Oh yeah, military.
Mr. Brooks, I've given you about 50 minutes to make your various arguments. You've now repeated yourself a number of times, so I'm going to turn to the state to see if they have any response. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate it, Cinema.
Judge, I'm going to summarize what I just heard by quoting from a case from the Eastern District of
Subwolf to end the
Wisconsin.
speech.
Federal case found at 2022 Westlaw 3045190.
Can you repeat that last
I'm
one
so
more time?
sorry. 3045190. Retzloff versus Moran. This case is talking about many of the topics that Mr. Brooks has now recited to the court and simply states, the majority of Retzlaff's filing is incomprehensible jargon and cut and paste legal mumbo jumbo. Sovereign citizen theories are frivolous and wholly without merit. And the court goes on to cite to Bay, B-E-Y, versus the state of Indiana at 847, Fed 3rd, 559, on pages 559 through 560, a 7th Circuit Court of Appeals decision from 2017. Mr. Brooks knowingly,
There it goes. Their name, nor do I know any individual by their name, Your Honor.
Please do the courtesy of not interrupting the state, as they did not
J9, we
interrupt
are
you for
watching
over the almost 50
the
minutes
trial.
that you spoke. Thank you.
Daryl Brooks.
Please continue.
Your Honor, the record is very clear that Mr. Brooks knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, and intelligently insisted on representing himself in this trial. He has no constitutional right to stand by counsel, none whatsoever. The court
he's not gonna
patiently went through the form and advised him of many of the things he's complaining about here today, the resources of the state, the knowledge of the law, his ignorance of the law, and his words to this court, and I quote to the best of my ability, "It don't make me flinch one bit." That's what he told this court, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago. Now he's here complaining over and over and over again how unfair this is to him. It's highly offensive. I don't know, because unfortunately I was talking to my investigator if he accused this court of treason, but I certainly heard that word come out of his mouth, and it is absolutely shocking that he would throw such a word around so loosely in this courtroom. This court has been exceedingly patient, exceedingly respectful of his rights at every turn. At every turn. I want to address this claim that he only had 3 days to prepare for trial. It's absolutely a false statement. The record should reflect that he does have 3 banker's boxes on his table. The record should reflect that every time the state calls a witness to the stand, he swiftly and easily turns to those boxes, which appear to be alphabetized or organized in some fashion by the public defenders who turned it over to him, and quickly removes the folder of the witness who's testifying and effectively cross-examines that witness using notes from the public defender. We know that because he's tried to confront witnesses with the notes from the public defender. He is not going into this blind or with one arm tied behind his back. They did all the homework, and he's simply sitting here reading their notes, reading their cross-examination questions, and asking the questions, and then going on to his ridiculous questions having to do with his belief in the sovereign citizen movement. There's no way this record would reflect that this defendant is not adequately prepared for trial. He's never asked for a speedy trial. He makes conflicting statements. On one hand, you violated his rights because it's taken us so long to get to trial, and on the other hand, we're rushing him to this case and he hasn't had adequate time to prepare. He is not denied access to legal materials in the jail. The record is very clear from the jail administrator.
Yes, thank you for that.
It should not be confused. He misleads this court intentionally to say, I only get out of my cell 2 hours a day. That is a fact. That is for his own safety, so that other inmates do not inflict physical harm upon him. He has access to a tablet. He has access to a computer.
Hey, Janon, thank you so much for gifting that sub out.
To ask for those resources is up to him. I would also cite the court to U.S. XREL George versus Lane, Lane.
Yeah, so I use a little combination
Seventh
of
Circuit Court
everything,
of
but
Appeals
Liquitex
at
is usually my
718,
go-to.
Fed Second 226, where a pro se defendant attempted to complain on appeal
I hope I was on camera for
about
that.
his lack of access to a computerized legal research system, paralegal training, or law school education. The court rejected that contention and said, once a defendant has asserted his right to refuse counsel and conduct his own defense, he has no constitutional right to access those resources. And again, you warned him, Judge. You fairly warned him. And he basically acted as if you were insulting him and said it didn't make him flinch one bit. Much of the last 50 minutes, which this court has graciously extended him the opportunity to go on and on and on, is nothing more.
Yeah, so we're gonna
than
make this a
legal
weekly
mumbo
thing,
jumbo.
too.
He's reading from some
Where we
typewritten
have a day
transcript. I can see that from
that
where
we
I'm
watch
sitting.
trials together.
I don't know who's giving him these materials, but he has an agenda here. It's to stall, delay, disrupt, intimidate, and it's not going to work. Thank you.
Objection to that. Your Honor, that's a load of crap.
Mr. Brooks, it's my opportunity now. I gave you about 50 minutes.
I just want to object to the disrespectful comments that was just made. I'm not trying to hold you up from
What do you mean,
you're
Zerkov?
gonna say, but
She has to present
that's a load
it
of crap.
to the jury as
For-
well.
for her
so
to
she's
sit
talking
there-
to everybody.
for her to sit
Your
there,
objection is noted.
for her to sit there, Your
No,
Honor.
it's my turn. Let me go through this. I graciously gave you 50 minutes to raise all these various points that you want to bring up. I then gave the state an opportunity to respond. That is the proper procedure. I followed decorum. I followed civility. I did not interrupt you. The state did not interrupt you. Your objection to their characterization, it's noted for the record. I am going to render a decision at this point. Please listen, and please do not interrupt. As I indicated, the defendant spoke for about 50 minutes.
Shut the hell up!
Raising a litany of complaints
I was like, did
and
somebody say
issues
that?
and theories regarding his view of how this case has proceeded. Many of these issues, if not the vast majority or even all of them, have already been addressed by this court in one way or the other.
Oh, see, I wouldn't want them all to be like this because he genuinely.
Looking at,
knows
for
them.
example, his complaints about change of venue. It is true this court denied the change of venue motion. The court made a record at that hearing. I stand behind that record and that decision. The arguments made regarding that decision, which I would note he has yet to file an interlocutory appeal challenging that, are nothing more than speculative, without a basis in law or fact. To say that this jury is biased would be a complete miscarriage of justice and a mischaracterization of the process this court painstakingly took in order to obtain a fair and impartial jury. There is absolutely nothing
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
on
listen
this
to this
record
dude, like,
before the court
for the whole trial.
throughout these proceedings to suggest that this is a biased jury. I stand behind my previous determination and the process that this court went through, including initially calling an unusually large panel for which the clerk of court's office sent the initial qualification questionnaire, and then ultimately a case-specific questionnaire was sent to approximately 1,400 jurors or potential jurors. There was ample opportunity for the parties throughout the proceedings leading up to the end of August to review those materials. There were numerous strikes for cause that this court entertained. Even prior to that specific hearing, the parties met, they conferred. The state agreed not to challenge the vast majority of the challenges to jurors brought by the defense.
Creation.
Then there was the hearing. Then
one
this
to
court
not grade you.
At jury selection allowed for an indefinite number of strikes for cause. Many were granted, if not all. And then even on the day that the jurors were brought in, the court provided the jurors with a supplemental questionnaire dealing specifically with the issue of exposure to the political advertisements. And then each party had the opportunity to exercise 10 preemptory strikes, which is well above the number of strikes allowed for by statute, which would be 6 based upon the homicide charges, 1 extra for the alternates, which would be 7. But out of an abundance of caution and in the interest of justice, the court gave each side 10, for which many of those Mr. Brooks chose not to exercise. And then pursuant to state law, the clerk of court chose names to strike by lot.
See, there are certain things that I think that
on this record before the court to suggest that this jury that we have is anything but fair and impartial. And I take issue with the characterization that they are anything but. They've been diligent, they take notes, they are attentive, they come to this court as the case law
this whole damn
says,
app is out of
there's
order.
a presumption that they come to the court without bias, and it's through the jury selection process that the parties and the court ferret out that bias. Many of the jurors who were brought in were struck for cause. Many others were not. But ultimately, we have a fair and impartial jury. As I listen to the litany of issues and arguments and complaints raised by Mr. Brooks, I would note that they are all unsubstantiated, conclusory allegations and assertions without an adequate basis raised in law and fact. There's been several misstatements by Mr. Brooks regarding either the record that's been made, items that's been provided to him, or the basis for
I'll probably
the
watch
court
one more video
either
of him because I
sustaining
could
or
only stand so much.
I want the truth. You can't
Hello,
handle
my
the
name
truth.
is Emily Gilchrist.
I put that on the record.
Son, we live in a-
since, that was an issue raised by Mr. Brooks previously.
Your
Now,
mod
I need to get a copy
banged
of
me,
the
Ron,
jury
Curly.
instructions. They were quite lengthy. The record should reflect that Mr. Brooks was provided with a written copy. It's 107 pages, and the state was provided with a written copy as well. Again, it's all the same 107 pages, and then my written copy is
Hi, buddy.
on its way.
I set the value in return for value each document. That's if I'm not muted.
You're not muted.
I also would like to again ask the subject matter.
Can I ask you one question? Oh, fucking hell, what,
Your
bro?
request is denied.
Has yet to be verified. It has yet to be verified.
What?
Your request is noted.
Your Honor,
It's denied without further hearing or consideration.
I was just told that the evidentiary phase is supposed to be closed. How come I haven't been able to present my evidence into the record as I've asked numerous times on the record to be able to do? I've said I have numerous documents that needed to go into the record. Why have they not been permitted to be made evidence?
When it comes to ideas for your bath project, you have options within options at Floor & Decor.
Can you please look in why my other account
I
is
didn't
banned
rest my case, so I don't
from
know
here?
why that's being told. And I have yet to be able to offer my exhibits into the record for evidence. How is that so, Your Honor?
Or are you about to give me like a
So the court did
stupid-ass
declare the evidentiary phase of this trial closed. I specifically found that you forfeited your right to present any further evidence or testimony when you failed to answer my questions regarding the calling of witnesses. And then I also declared that you forfeited your right to testify. Specifically as it relates to your trial filing, sir, I would note that all evidence in a trial must be proper, it must be probative, it must be relevant, and it must follow all rules of procedure and all rules of evidence.
Yeah, mods,
to the extent that you wrote all of those documents, sir, that would be hearsay.
Like there's
And for that reason,
obviously
I'm denying your
moments
request
where
to
like
make
if
them
we
part of the
get
record.
They were not
botted,
hearsay, Your Honor. I did what you told
that
me
it's
to
an
do. You
accident,
told
but
me,
I almost feel
since I
like
was representing myself pro per, that I had to write everything out and present
you're
it to
kind
the
of
court.
trolling right
So
now.
that's not what I said, you're misquoting me, but in any event, I'm
No, that's
denying
what
your
you said.
request. I
So
said,
you're saying that I have no right to present evidence
Hi,
and to have
Haunted.
exhibits
It's good
as
to
the
see
state's
you.
been able to do.
Yeah,
Mr.
if my
Brooks, I'm
mom's
not
dying,
going to
me
have
my
a debate about
If
this
they
now.
denying
I
me-
have,
are you-
I gotta
are you
mute
denying
him
me
once
your right?
again. So, Mr. Brooks, I have muted you
it's
because
usually within good reason.
I declared the evidentiary phase of this trial
99% of the
closed.
time.
You forfeited your right to present further evidence and testimony
Oh my gosh,
previously
really, Airborne?
by refusing to answer the court's questions. I will specifically address the filings.
Okay.
Number one, it is not true that I advised him
Let's
that
hear what your
any
name
filing
is.
would become evidence. That is simply false. Number two, filings, I told him if he wanted to present motions, should be written down and should be based in law.
Yeah, I mean the
and
fact
fact,
that
and
regardless of the
request
situation, you'll
specific
definitely just be
relief.
getting
I'm well aware
recorded,
that
so.
previously he has referenced he would like his filings made exhibits. I've reviewed
did,
those
Haunted. Let
filings.
me
There's
show you. Hold
nothing
on.
relevant, nothing probative, or
I
the
think I'll put
information
the,
contained therein is hearsay. Mr. Brooks would have needed to testify regarding any statements that he, from himself,
To put the
testimony.
sleep
He
token
cannot simply
logo
put
in
in an
there, too.
affidavit. That's not proper. That's hearsay. And he hasn't asked in any of those filings that he hasn't put forth any exception to the hearsay rule that would allow this court to admit.
Yeah, but if you
his
go
written
into a
filings.
stream where
I
you've been
believe
banned,
without fail, they are all irrelevant, not probative, and hearsay,
but what's your name?
and therefore not admissible.
Let's hear it.
So we're moving on to the discussion of jury instructions.
Enlighten me.
When Mr. Brooks wants to abide by the rules of decorum and civility, I will unmute him. He clearly just took the entire packet of jury instructions and put them, I don't know what's under the table, if it's a garbage can or if he just simply put them under the table, but they are no longer in front of him. I will, however, unmute him so that we can get his feedback regarding jury instructions. It's typically a back and forth. We'll go through them. And I'll ask the parties whether there are any instructions they believe should be included, and we'll have a discussion on that. And then we'll talk about whether any of the instructions that are in here need to be modified in any way, taken out, edited, etc.
Here's the green.
Beauty.
All right, you're unmuted now, but you have to not interrupt.
You can't, I'm not trying to interrupt, but how can you deny me the chance to put on the adequate defense by saying nothing that you told me to do can be presented into evidence?
So now I'm doing
you filed them, you filed everything that I gave to you, you
Right,
filed.
Mr. Brooks, I'm
And
going
I'm
to
having
mute you
say-
because this is not relevant at this time.
Thank you.
He's raised tone of voice, he's very animated, he threw the jury instructions on the floor.
I understand
Thank
you're
you.
upset, sir. I understand you believe I'm violating
I'm looking at this
your right to
not
present
as
a defense.
slash the mod. This
I've
is
made
definitely
my
ban
rulings.
evasion. Yeah.
I determine you forfeited your right to testify, which includes the right to present evidence as you would have testified. I closed I closed off your ability to call any other witnesses by finding that you forfeited your right to do so based upon your conduct. I understand you're frustrated. I understand you believe that I'm not without authority to do that. I made specific factual findings. I've referenced the law, and you being upset with the decision is not going to change my mind. He's also taken the headphones off. It's his choice right now whether he participates in this jury instruction conference.
He doesn't want to listen anymore.
It is his choice. But if he is going to spout off about things that I've already determined, I will continue to exercise the mute function on the audio equipment. I'll unmute him again, but you are advised, sir, you need to be proper. You need to not interrupt.
This is when
and
he
you need to
creates
stay
his
on
box for it.
task, which is we're discussing jury instructions, not other evidence, not subject matter jurisdiction, not your belief that I told you to file things a certain way. We are now discussing jury instructions.
Did that guy just leave?
So once again, I'll
or is
unmute
he
him
going to
to see if he
actually
can
tell
follow
us?
these simple rules.
You need to tell me why I can't present evidence. How can you deny me the fact? How can you deny me my right to present evidence?
All right,
I
I will
told
mute
you
him
before
once
this.
again because he wants to continue. And again, I understand he's upset. I understand that. But he has himself to blame for his conduct this morning and the rulings
like
that
they
I've
left
made.
yet.
All right, so let's go through these jury instructions. First of all, has the state received a copy of the draft?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks, do you acknowledge receipt? I believe you did by acknowledging it previously, but do you acknowledge receipt of the draft of the final jury instructions?
I didn't acknowledge nothing, and I don't acknowledge anything now. I have not received anything.
I would ask the bailiff to
I
pick
don't
up the
receive.
documents from the floor and put them in front of him.
And
once again.
I'm not presenting it to nothing I don't give my consent to. You can't deny me the right to put on a defense. How can you tell me when I done stated
I'm going to
3 or
read him
4
once
times?
again because, again, I understand he's upset. If the bailiff could confirm, well, he put him on top, he put him on the floor. That's his right. They're not in front of him, but it's by his own conduct that he's done that. The record should reflect Mr. Brooks is muted because he wants to continue to debate with this court about my prior rulings regarding his forfeiture by conduct of his right to present further evidence on his behalf. I know one of the things I probably need to look at, I'm not sure if Madam Clerk did this or not, would be the language from the amendment from the amended information on count 70.
Spider head painting? Fair. Oh, here he goes.
I changed, hold on. 76, the 76 count, just wanna make, it says near Frame Park, so it is in there, but that was just one question I had. All right. So, state have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Your Honor, I'm just going through each one. I'm on page 50 of 107. Everything's looking great so far, though.
Okay. Fair enough, there's 107 pages. I certainly can give the parties some time to continue to read through them.
Hello, my name is Emily Gilchrist.
Look at him.
Mr. Brooks is requesting to go back to his cell. At this point, I'm going to deny that request. He can remain in the other courtroom.
Look at him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, how do they not just escort him out? Like, I understand giving him a fair trial and shit, but like, how do you not escort somebody out that is acting like that? I'd be like, okay, well, you're done. You're done acting this way. Buster's over here chirping at the birds outside. Oh my lord.
I know he's muted, but I can certainly hear him from this side. He appears to be yelling at the top of his lungs. I can't decipher what he's yelling.
More options means even more affordable ideas for your bathroom from Floor & Decor.
I don't care. Look at him. Is being ignored, yep. Yep. Oh my goodness, such a big stretch. Yeah, I guess so. Look at me, doing things. Oh, excuse me.
I'll advise Mr. Brooks, without a specific waiver of his right to be present, even if it's from the remote courtroom, he's going to remain in that courtroom. And that would require him to have a colloquy with me.
Sir, your 500 showing. Also, don't forget, you guys, no stream tomorrow or Friday. I will be back on Monday. It's the fact that he keeps on peeking. Dude, how many fucking ads are we gonna get?
Hello, my name is Emily Gilcraft.
Oh, okay, that was it. He just wants attention, yeah. I thought she was gonna acknowledge the fact that he was doing that. GG. GG. Yeah, that dude's a fucking moron. I don't want to watch any more on him, though. Not to tool. Not to tool. This red is really pretty. It's probably kind of hard to see, but for about an hour longer. Mm. Oh. He gets mad because no, I couldn't see him getting angry. Whatever do you mean? What an odd thing to say. Oh my gosh, Crypt, you're good. You're completely fine. I think it was just the overhaul of watching so many things on him that I'm just like, he makes me beyond angry. What's up, Bio? How you doing? Oops. Oh my gosh, stop. Here we go. But yeah, we could definitely chill for the last bit of it too. Did he have the correct permits to build in a wall? It was not intentional, you guys. It was not intentional. Next thing I could, unless we want to watch like an interrogation rather than a court case. But like I said, I don't want to watch his though. Finish strong. But it's up to you guys what you want to do. I'm cool with either or. We could vibe and listen to music as I paint, or we could watch an interrogation. The choice is yours. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch his interrogation. Nope. Oh, we could do some horror shorts. Like scary video type stuff. Oh my god, how to properly hide. Let me see. Let's see like top 10 scary videos or something. And we'll decide on how scary they actually are. Until you buy. What is it? Oh, it's 2 hours. Gotcha. Do you guys want to watch Nuke's top 5? This heavy marked package was 2 15 packs of Monster energy drinks. It's stacked up on the top shelf. Oh no. Did it pumble? Nuke. Here we go. Also, we are 16 away from our daily sub goal. Hi. What's up, Tish?
A woman named Natalie who lives in the UK with her family says that lately strange things have been happening in her home.
Strange things.
Natalie says that recently they've been doing renovations in their older house, and she believes that all of the activity might have disturbed something in the home, something dark and sinister. One night while her son is sleeping, this happens.
Oh, I seen this one. The video's like sped up. Mr. Chills, number
Some unseen
2.
force seems to grab Natalie's son by his ankle and pull him right off the bed. The boy cries, and as if he is speaking to someone that we can't see, he says, "I don't like it. No." Natalie says that her son then ran into their bedroom crying and said that there was a man in his room. Obviously, we can see that there was no man in his room. So just who or what pulled the boy's leg? You decide.
A cat.
Reality check. Now, before we start with this video, it needs a little bit of explanation. So the Quest 3 VR headset has a mixed reality mode where it can scan your
actually,
room,
I watched
including
this
all
entire
furniture,
thing.
and it will
What,
actually
Mr.
project
Chills
your
we
game
want?
onto the
Or what's his name? Months ago.
Number 5.
Number 5. Here we go.
Number 30.
Number 9.
This creepy area is reputed to be haunted by a young man whose life was ended by a passing train nearby. Are we about to see his apparition? Posted by Ghost Videos, this scary video was captured outside of the village of Stanstead Mountain, Fitchhead in the UK. The murky woodland path is mysterious enough, with its bare trees, black river, and heavy fog. And then this mysterious figure turns the mystery up a notch. A semi-transparent shape that's faintly human-like appears near the riverbank. A close-up of the figure shows it swiftly moving in and out of view, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Some in the comments think this looks completely original. Others are wondering if the cameraman felt a paranormal presence in the moment.
In the moment.
If not paranormal in nature, what could this be?
Bruh.
Number 29. Cassie is with Danny Dorito and Ali H to find evidence of a spirit that they think is haunting not just this house, but most of the surrounding forest as well. They come across a ritual that someone left behind for some reason, possibly in a hurry. They figure out how to complete it and hear a noise shortly after reciting these ancient words, which I'm hoping someone who happens to practice magic might be able to recognize and tell us more.
Rof, Niap, Ro.
What could it be?
They decide to leave everything
Hi,
behind
Ox.
and are well on their way back home when something ahead interrupts their hike.
Hello?
At 4 minutes, I can see what appears to be a normal pair of white tennis shoes that kind of looks out of place.
Sorry.
So I'm not exactly convinced
Sorry,
that this is real. Number 28. This security footage shows a strange moving blur that distorts large sections of the floor as it passes by. A short while later, someone appears to be shoved from behind while walking by. It's odd how they lose their balance while walking across the exact same part of the floor. That was blurry only moments earlier. Also notice how, for whatever reason, they immediately look down at the floor. Could they possibly be seeing something with their own eyes that the camera doesn't detect? Number 27. These ghost hunters become the hunted in this haunted ghost encounter. Published by Cuyahoga Official in September of 2021. Assad and crew hunt for ghosts in this paranormal show, and they don't come up empty-handed. They start to hear noises in this haunted place, and then see a dark figure lurking just out of sight. As they continue in their search, a pile of bricks is pushed from one of the walls.
Oh, no.
Something is later rattling the doorway. And as they get closer, they hear a growl from behind them. After hearing something behind them again, one of the crew gets taken.
What?
When they race into the room, no one is there, but they see something flicker past while peering through a hole in the wall of the room. They later come across more substantial evidence that something has been stalking them all along.
All along.
A figure is standing in one of the structure's
thank
many
you for the hug.
rooms. They back out and the figure is gone, but another appears, this one in a pink robe. They pursue her and later find another figure.
Bro.
Standing in the opposite direction. Only this time the figure doesn't remain still. She moves backwards towards them in a terrifying manner. Would you survive this unholy terror? Or would it be enough to scare you real good? I'd be getting out of that place as quickly as possible. Number 26. A woman suddenly disappeared from this home without a trace. Her car is still in
Now
the garage.
you guys are gonna be talking like him all day.
Adrian Urbeck searches the home to see what clues he might find. When he arrives, he finds the front door and window wide open.
Y'a quelqu'un?
Once you start talking like him, you don't stop either, just so you know.
Eh oh?
He receives no response, so he enters. Once inside, he finds these mysterious markings.
C'est quoi ça?
Mysterious as can be.
And it looks like someone broke into this room with force.
Do it. Bro, anytime like we watch these, I just think of you imitating them. Cause it's so fucking good.
He then comes across this ultra creepy doll.
Oh, okay, Tish.
Ça c'est glauque.
Tish. Thank you.
Hyper glauque. Je sais pas ce qui lui est arrivé, on dirait qu'il a été éventré. Oh, regardez.
And he hears an unknown background noise.
Il y a un bruit. Il y a une espèce de bruit de fond. Je sais pas ce que c'est. Peut-être quelque chose qui coule.
After a while, he thinks it may be electric, but the lights aren't working.
Genre, il y a vraiment un bruit de fond. Et c'est pas un bruit d'eau, on dirait un bruit électrique. Je vais peut-être tester.
Adrian never does find out what that noise is. Could it be linked to the woman's disappearance? I don't think we'll ever know for sure, but what I do know is I get a very
I think there's
eerie
some
feeling
coming
from
out
this
of my
place.
ears now.
Number 25. YouTuber
I'm
Gregor
sorry,
Wilk braids
Cupcake.
one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin in this spooky video. One of the most interesting finds he has there is this strange orb flickering in the darkness. Watch closely.
Watch closely. Oh, Teapots is on? Yes.
In another
absolutely.
shot, he captures a ghostly apparition. Watch to the left amongst the trees.
Are we watching some birds? Damn!
Here's a closer look.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Huge, 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 huge. Shout out to Kick. Thank you. Thank you for the feature. Also, Dim, I don't know
Some
if
in the
you know
comments say
anything
they've
about
had a
it or
similar
if you could do
experience
anything
at
about it, but I did
Sanitarium
apply
Hill.
for partner for the fast track, and hello. Hi. Yes. I don't know if you could do anything. Tell them, hey, Ash is incredible because I am.
Well, from this distance, I'd say you can't really tell if this is a ghost or not. This was filmed at around
good
2
effort. I'm
a.m., So
trying.
the idea that someone
I'm
was
trying.
out walking in the darkness of night is pretty creepy in and of itself. Number 24. Working car parks aren't the most comfortable places in the light of
they're
day.
not.
So what happens when you enter an
That's what I'm
abandoned
gonna
one in
say.
the
Oh my
darkness
gosh, you guys.
underground? Published to YouTube by Nellis in August of 2016.
Thank you guys.
This video will make underground car parks seem even more terrifying.
So terrifying.
Nellis writes, "This
Foot
is the scariest haunted
lettuce.
abandoned place
What's up,
we've ever
Salty?
visited. The car park was in connection to a haunted hotel his crew had visited in Bosnia. He
Not
says that this video is even
Bosnia.
scarier than his two-part series about the hotel. So let's see what's hiding down in this car park.
Rebelling on Slashley's
The
behalf.
car park has
behalf.
clearly long been abandoned.
Well, thank you guys. I
Overgrown
appreciate you.
grass at the entrance and rubble inside.
We'll get there.
As they descend into the pits of creepy. On
We'll
one
get
wall is
there.
a handprint, as though someone smeared something on the wall. It looks like something red. Nellis shines a flashlight into the dark and
Something
spots
red.
a bag. The crew hears something down in the car park, prompting Nellis to greet the darkness, asking if there's anyone down there to give them a sign.
If there's anyone in here, give us a sign.
Cats are going at it, yo. Something red.
A sound is heard.
Dude, I had a dream
although
earlier
it's
that
not
I had a
clear what
pet
it could be
otter, now I
coming
want one.
from.
Oh my gosh.
He continues to shine his flashlight
anybody
all
that
along
is
the gap
coming
to the
in
car
off
park
the
to
front
see if
page,
anything is
hello,
moving.
welcome on in.
They hear some more
We were
noises.
I was about to say
repeated
we're watching
taps.
Salad Fingers, and that's not at all what we're doing. But welcome on in. My name's Ash. This is the Horror Haven. I play a variety of
His
games,
friend
mainly
speaks in
horror.
Bosnian,
I also
likely
sing,
again
dance, and
questioning
create
whether or
art from
not
time to
anyone
time,
is
and we're huge
there.
advocates for mental
On closer
health.
inspection
So,
of the underground,
welcome
they spotted door and recently eaten food. They continued down to the bottom of the incline and throw stuff at the bag they'd seen earlier. While looking deeper into the car
Why does
park,
he talk like
they
that?
don't open the bag, but Nellis says it appeared
kick
like someone was
partner.
sleeping down here or otherwise staying here, as though they found
guys are
food
so kind.
canisters and towels. As they again hear something in the darkness,
We'll get
they
there.
decide it's time to move it on out of
We
there.
will get there.
Nellis says it sounds like something scraping the floor.
Scraping the floor. We will always talk like this, no matter
Whether human,
what.
animal, or something supernatural.
Because it's
leaving
super
this place with only one way
cool.
out was probably the best course of action. Number 23. Heather
Oh my gosh,
of
I have to
Heather
pee.
Hauntings is
Hold
investigating a
on.
place
Hold on.
known as the Shadow People Trail, a name that needs no further explanation. They go to the very end of the trail where the most paranormal activity is said to occur.
Ghost radar first, because that one's been working. Oh yeah, that one's been working really good. Okay. Whoa, what the that?
Oh, it's loud.
What the? Oh my god, this place is so creepy.
And it isn't long before they catch some creepy stuff on camera that leaves them scared.
So.
We're not.
You what's that?
I don't know.
Terror?
Yeah, I'm creeped.
Good.
The scary noises coming from the woods stop for a while, and Heather's group wonders if the Shadow People have left. Watch the ghost radar screen when they ask the Shadow People where they went.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
He probably
all over
listens
and
to
now
his
he's
own
gone.
voice as he goes to sleep. Like it puts him to sleep.
They leave a camera facing the direction of the noise and walk away. The camera starts to move on its own even though it is on a well-balanced tripod.
Not
Some
the
shadows move in front of the
tripod.
camera at 14 minutes and 45 seconds, and then the camera falls over.
Oh,
They've caught enough
no.
paranormal evidence on camera to convince me that this forest is as haunted and scary as the legends say.
Thank you, Miss
Number
Murder.
22. When you visit an
Just gonna keep
abandoned
randomly saying
hospital,
that?
you
Thank
don't
you.
expect this to happen. Redditor Bored Guy Online posted this scary video evidence that he captured in the ICU.
Gets banned
Keep an
instead.
eye at the end of the hall to the right.
But like you were starting a riot. Do you think he snores weird? He probably like more so like
Something mysterious is going on here.
That's probably what he does. Yep. Being featured!
Being that all hospitals are likely haunted,
Honk
maybe
shoe.
these doors aren't malfunctioning
Honk
after
shoe.
all. If that's the case though, who is
Honk
opening and closing this
shoe.
ICU door? He can see us, but we can't see him.
That is 100%
I think it's
what he
time to
does.
leave this abandoned hospital and stay far away. You wouldn't want anything following you home now. Number 21.
Honk
An angry
shoe.
poltergeist haunting this room is throwing things off the shelf.
Hey!
That's just another points redeem.
Allah Akbar, Allah.
Does
Ini
snore
rumah
like
aku, kalau
Joe?
kau nak buat macam ni,
Honk shoe.
kau ingat aku takut? Kau ingat aku takut? Allah.
But unfortunately for a rash after
Bora, what's up?
the
How you doing?
paranormal activity does not end there.
Allah.
No, it doesn't.
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
Looking straight at him is a mysterious figure standing in the kitchen. A shadow figure that is clearly in the shape of a person.
Not a person.
Allah. Look.
But when he chases it into the kitchen, it's gone and the drawer where it was just standing opens
Okay,
all by
guys,
itself.
I have a question.
Now that's just terrifying. Number 20.
If you had to choose
Lizzie Arts
between
is freaked out in
talking
her
like
own
chills
home
for the
because a
rest of your
ghost is
life
haunting
or
her.
always hearing people
Just woke up
sound like
to
chills, like people only sounded like chills
Weird
when they
things
talked.
are caught on camera
What
all
would
of
you
the
choose?
time. Really creepy stuff like
And
when the
death is
ghost
not an
kept
option.
setting off the smoke alarm all night.
on Home Alone. I know which one it is.
Taxes fucking suck.
Small one. Right over there.
The ghost seems to turn the smoke alarm on upon her mention.
We have
Because you could always
2 more smoke alarms.
But
in the
what about
house.
your inner dialogue?
There it goes again.
And instantly stops when she yells at it.
Maybe you should check to see if you're cooking something. Did you get hit hard?
There are 2
Deborah?
other smoke alarms that the ghost is not bothering with. Just this one by her room. I think she should try changing the batteries and see if it still
Talk like him
happens.
so
If that
much.
doesn't solve it, then that means this video is really paranormal with more creepy videos to follow, I'm sure. Number 19. Don't
Oh,
take
fair.
your chances
Fair
with
enough,
this haunted place. It's home to a demon. YouTube team Toppy do take the risk, and they soon hear voices not far off.
Я тоже слышу.
You would want to be mute.
They think these voices are coming from outside.
But little do they know, they're not outside. Oh, Evora, that would be fantastic.
But this paranormal activity makes me think otherwise. A steady cam captures this
Did you
in an
do
empty
any quarterly
room.
payments at all?
I even hear some taps after the door opens, but it's what happens later that really convinces me.
Что?
Yeah. Yep, quarterly taxes are the way to go.
They hear footsteps in the snow, and then this happens.
Instead of coffee reading smut, it's, it's chills. Oh my god.
Твою мать!
Something is heard right behind them, but they're on the second floor.
So it couldn't be anybody because they're on the second floor.
Even after falling out of his chair, he asks for another sign. Something is knocking on the window, and I must reiterate, they're on the second floor, so who could it be? Like I said, I'm more than convinced that this place is haunted, and if they aren't careful, the demon will soon be coming for them. Number 18.
Ben, thank you for
This
that follow.
house,
How you
explored
doing?
by YouTuber Legrand JD, is reputed to be haunted.
Put me in the suitcase. Not the suitcase.
According to the residents, the security cameras in the kitchen detected motion around midnight, and nothing was there.
Yep. That's how it is here. You got to pay those quarterly taxes or you get fined for not doing that. So, yeah. But welcome in, everybody. If you are new here, my name is Ash. This is the Horror Haven. I play a variety of games, but mainly horror. I also sing, dance, and create art from time to time, and we're huge advocates for mental health.
Although nothing is triggered, something eerie happens as he enters the cellar.
Magnifique cave. Avec une porte qui se ferme toute seule.
But this is the only strange event that occurs during the investigator's visit. Neither his EMF meter or his REM pod goes off. Does that mean this place isn't haunted? Or are the spirits simply shy and in hiding? Who knows? But I would keep my pantry under lock and key just to be sure. Number 17. This YouTuber thinks his room is completely haunted. This is what was caught on video when the camera was left running for only a few minutes.
Okay, not exactly 5 minutes, but I swear to God I heard something, so I'm gonna watch back the footage.
He comes back into the room thinking he heard a noise, but nothing is there. At least nothing that he could see. At 2 minutes and 41 seconds, a fast-moving shadow figure is caught on camera. A mysterious outline of a person. I don't think the reflection is his because it moves too quickly. This creepy video is either paranormal or edited, but which? Something about it says
Crypt,
real
you could
ghost
talk
sighting
underwater?
to me. Number 16. Timothy Bartlett is exploring a water park that's haunted by a former guest named Billy.
Hi, is anybody here? Hi, Billy. I'm here.
Things are about to get real creepy real fast. Watch.
Could you
Watch
move
and
something again for me?
learn.
Oh. Holy sh**.
A chair moves on its own accord upon Timothy's request for Billy the Ghost to move an object and prove himself to be real. Paranormal activity is possible, but the low quality resolution could easily hide a string if there was one. This was not done on purpose as the resolution is average quality for a 2012 phone camera video, so maybe it's
Why are they
real.
filming? What do you mean?
Number 15. When in Kentucky, Bobby Mackey's is a must on your pit stop through Wilder.
I mean, if
as the
something's happening
honky-tonk
in
place is
my
often
house or
called the
something
most
that I
haunted
think like
nightclub in America.
is haunted and it's
And here's
happened multiple
video to
times, I would
prove it.
probably film
Posted
it too.
by 303 Paranormal TV to the Chills Narrator subreddit.
Did they make it? Here?
He writes, a few clips of some paranormal evidence.
I know
caught
their
on my
flight was supposed to
channel.
land
The footage was
at-
taken at Bobby Mackey's, which according to legend, has been the site of both life takings, takings of own lives, and of course hauntings. Folklore claims there's a gateway inside Bobby Mackey's, and it's haunted by the ghosts of people who passed away on site and nearby. One of the purported ghosts is that of Pearl Bryan, whose body was found around 2 miles away. According to some, those responsible put a curse on the site and said that they would haunt those who persecuted the case.
I haven't gotten anything
Of
yet.
course, all these claims are unsubstantiated. Pearl Bryan's life-taking is sadly true. No public records have been found to confirm Bobby Mackey's had any part in it. nor has the location's historical background regarding any other supernatural claims been verified. Regardless, some have captured paranormal experiences on tape at the site, including this video of a shadow figure moving across the wall in the empty club. Is there some truth in urban legends? Is this video proof of at least some unearthly presence here? I think I'd be too scared to ever find out for myself. Number 14. The Paranormal Boys experience crazy paranormal activity in this place frozen in time. As they're speaking to the spirits,
Robbie.
they hear something.
Cough / sleep for kick partner. Cough, cough, cough.
That was definitely a knock. Later, using a spirit box app, they capture this. As they continue speaking, they're sent some terrifying messages.
If you're in this room, can you fax some of the devices?
Got that tickle going on. Not the tickle. Thanks for pinning it.
Where are you, Tom?
Hopefully soon, y'all. Hopefully soon.
And then the spirits respond directly.
Copy this. You joking me? Did you hear that?
My tummy is all
Still, it warns them.
Hey? Yeah, it's just sitting to see for. What was that? Dead.
Was it just a coinky?
There's someone upstairs.
You hear that up there? You hear that up there?
Since the team won't listen to the spirit's warnings, it takes matters into its own hands.
I thought you pushed my arm then. Something just... Jeffrey. Something just pushed my arm.
What pushed his arm? I think it was Jeffrey, but in the end, it could be any one of the demons haunting this place. Number 13. Scary restaurant video was captured in a bar in Singapore late at night. First, a stool falls over, which I guess could just be a string, but their reaction seems realistic as they all question how this could happen. The entire time, none of them realize that they are being watched by the faint outline of a woman who does not move or make a noise. Maybe it's just me, but it almost looks like this woman's feet are off the ground, and she is suspended in the air. Number 12.
What?
YouTube team The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations is spending the night at this place at Harmon Road. I can't say exactly what went on in this building, but let's just say men would pay to be with the women who worked there. Before long, one of their REM pods goes off.
Yeah, so it's been a minute. Did you hear that? There's a REM pod.
Did you guys hear that?
Did you hear it?
I heard it thump.
No, that was me walking on this, but I heard the REM pod go off.
They continue their
They would
search and meet
pay
an unwanted
to
guest.
be with the women that were there.
Whoa, no. Did you see that, dude?
I did.
I was a... Oh no.
It's a bat.
As they're trying to communicate through paranormal devices, they hear a sound in the building.
Look at that. Is that you? I'm not close enough.
No.
And it'd still be going off if that was me.
Be close enough to
A moment later, a bang is heard.
But it's not necessarily that the words are making sense. I heard that, bro. Did you hear that?
And then another.
I know you heard that, bro.
Rim job.
In another hallway, they hear what sounds like talking.
I heard something.
The spirit seems to want them to stay.
You want us to stay? Whoa. Did you hear that?
Maybe it's scared.
I swear to God, it sounded like something came walked up.
When they knock, the spirit knocks back.
Can you make a noise like this? Did you hear that? It was like almost immediate, bro. It was like gung gung.
And then they hear this unnerving moan.
Oh! What the? I heard a before that. Did you hear the breath before that? I know you heard that, dude. It was like...
In another room, one of their paranormal devices
Did you
goes
guys
off.
hear that? can't believe you
step away?
didn't. If you didn't.
See, I wouldn't.
They keep hearing these mysterious noises.
What the?
I heard a whistle, and then
Yeah.
I heard something in there go like.
See, that's what I heard was a whistle park.
And their devices continue to be triggered.
Also got the. Oh. Okay. Also got the SOS.
What if it
camera-
did? What
or
if it
sorry,
did the?
the-
Oh yeah.
I think there are too many creepy, unexplained noises in this building to suggest anything but paranormal activity. I also propose that this channel consider renaming this video to Did You Hear That, Bro?
Did you hear that, bro? That was loud.
He's got jokes, you guys.
Number 11. Sonny Deeds and his friend CJ venture onto this abandoned military base and its haunted trail. First, they hear what they think are voices.
Yeah, what the? Yes.
What
I don't
possibly
know.
could it
That's
be?
what caught my attention.
Was that voices? Because when you turned around and were looking back that way, I was doing the same thing. I heard whatever you heard.
A little further down the path, again, they hear something.
Oh, is that you making noise behind us?
No, I was talking, but I wasn't making any noise. What'd you hear?
It sounds like
And then they feel something.
We're almost back to back. What the is that? What?
Sonny sees something, and in the background, you can hear what sounds like growling.
Dude. Somebody just what? No, there's some. I don't know. Somebody.
Okay, what do we need to just keep on walking? There was something to the left of the wood. That was that.
Then they hear footsteps, and then a strange growling noise.
Dude, I hear somebody walking, and it's not our freaking footsteps.
Okay, Kunzo, keep on.
And finally,
I'm
this
gonna
sends
do
them
the 30
running.
on this one.
It's just weird, dude. It's weird out here. Just the whole history of everything. Like I said, there's supposed to be. Oh, what? Oh my God! I can't see.
Something cracked in the forest, and as Sonny turns left, you can see some strange lights there. Watch it again.
Oh,
Did you see them? I think they may be lights from whoever
I
is
hated
following
getting
the
my elbow
guys,
tattooed.
or maybe they're just reflectors on some fences. It's hard to tell, but the noises are a sure thing, and they're unsettling. Number 10.
But I know people that
Here's
hate getting
another
their feet
strange
tattooed.
basement
I
video
don't
that
have a
doesn't
foot
seem to have
tattoo,
any
so
good explanation.
couldn't really
Besides
tell
the
ya.
paranormal, a YouTuber named David's Ghost Cams has recently installed a brand new smoke and carbon monoxide detector that seems to be acting quite strangely. First of all, it only goes off when he is downstairs. Second, it tells him that the carbon monoxide levels are at 0%, which means it shouldn't be going off at all. Finally, it tells him to get out of his home.
Okay, so we're gonna go downstairs,
You should probably leave.
and I'm going to show
Maybe.
you what happened the other night.
Look what happens as soon as he steps foot in the basement.
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide detecting is going off. Sonny Deeds?
Keep in mind that this alarm has not gone off since the last time he went downstairs. There's obviously no smoke to speak of. This, combined with other weird happenings, has David convinced that his basement is quite haunted. David explains that he once had a house guest who stayed in the basement over 3 months before taking his life. Everyone was surprised. Ever since then, David has noticed things in the house moving around by themselves, strange noises, and most recently, the faulty smoke alarm. Even stranger is that how, as soon as David starts talking about the smoke alarm again, it goes off on its own for a second time. The only explanation I have for this video is that somehow David is manually testing the smoke detector himself and blaming it on a ghost as a prank. However, all of the smoke detectors I've ever seen requires you to physically press a button. This one really does seem to be going off all by itself. This brings me to an interesting point. If David's house guest was a friend, then why would he be telling him to leave his home? Perhaps there is some sort of danger. Perhaps he is trying to warn David of a gas leak or an impending fire. I guess only time will tell. Number 9. Not only do you have to worry about pyrotechnic incidents at work, you might have to worry about ghosts as well. YouTuber Joey Nike 12 posted this video of a store he claims is haunted in Kingsville. At the beginning of the video, he tells a coworker, "Let's go record that room," before heading to the haunted room in question. They set a video camera up to record the purportedly paranormal activity that occurs in this room. About 3 minutes into the footage, you can see a dustpan move ever so slightly, and then not
Scotty,
ever
what's
so
up?
slightly.
Not with the ghost.
It falls over, and a moment later, the door next to it slams closed.
How you doing? How you
The boys
feeling?
re-enter the room nonchalantly, not knowing the strangeness that has just occurred there. But after coming across this video that went too far, they may not want to enter this haunted storage room ever again.
No.
Number 8. Something is buried in the debris of this house. Published by Proving Demons in December of 2021, these paranormal explorers couldn't last the whole night in this very haunted house. Immediately upon entering, they see that this house houses some strange stuff. They soon start to hear creepy noises as well.
I know, so just stick close to me. Shh. What was that button?
They get scared and shit their
They
pants.
also think they hear walking upstairs.
Yo, is there somebody in here?
Oh, for real,
As they're
Scotty?
looking up the stairs, they start to hear a woman's voice humming.
More meds?
They
Are
don't
they
encounter
hopefully,
whatever is making the noise,
in a sense,
but later
helping?
as they're about to use a paranormal device, they hear another strange sound.
Or are these different ones that you're gonna be trying?
A second sound follows as they're trying to make their way through all the garbage to leave.
Come with me.
They manage to get out of the place, and maybe just in time. Number 7. YouTuber Ali H is trapped by a demon in his very haunted house. Using a spirit app, he attempts to communicate.
Come on, give us an answer. They mean you hard. Oh my.
They mean you hard.
What the?
And then, a moment later,
What the? They need us for it, and now.
Is that one of those, like, you know, those ghosts that are like...
the record player starts playing on its own.
Thank you,
Later,
Inferno.
while reviewing the footage with his partner Emma, they notice a glitch in the video.
You see that?
What the was that?
In the evening, Ali is brushing his teeth when the lights start to flicker again.
That is what we're dealing with right now. Brush my teeth.
Could
That's what
absolutely be no one in the
I don't think
hallway.
Ali is ever going to get rid of this demon. He let the evil in, and now it's made its home here. Number 6. Something about railroad tracks at night is eerily haunting, and these creepy tracks are no exception. Published by Panic Attack's Scary Videos in October of 2014, this scary video might make you have a panic attack.
Nope.
Located in
Did
Reedy,
not even show.
Texas,
They're
these
like,
old-timey railroad tracks have a
we know
terrible
we'll get
history. According
somebody
to urban
over there,
legend,
so we're not
a
gonna
railroad
show.
worker let a train take his life on these tracks a very long time ago, and ever since his
Ruin,
ghost
what's up?
has
How you
been seen
doing?
on occasion around midnight, hovering over the bridge carrying a lantern. The boys here are interested in seeing if the tales are true. After being chaotically through the woods by a wild boar, they fall onto the tracks. That's when they see it. A mysterious light is shining at a distance on the bridge, just as the urban legend said it would. It's too far away to be distinct. They say it looks like a ball of light, and they walk toward it. But as they approach, after a while it goes out, leaving them in darkness. Was it the railway man of legend? I guess we're left in the dark about that too. Number 5. Someone is Watching You. Published by Paranormal Voyages
clear
in
now?
January of
Thank you, Mr.
2022. This paranormal crew is not just paranoid. As they're tuning into the spirits and or demons of this place, one of the crew sees something pop up outside through the window.
There's something outside.
Here. Here.
Later, as she's wearing headphones to listen in to what the spirits have to say, she feels someone, and then that someone speaks.
Who are you? What are you?
Who are you?
Whoa! Move her chair. It's that
Bareback sounds
deep
good.
man's voice.
Well, so you move the chair.
After the demon says to touch her and make her cry, the crew urges the demon to leave.
Make her cry, he said.
No, you cannot make her cry. You're gonna have to
Okay, Red and Grant
Can't
just
do anything
landed.
The woman looks very shaken up, and she says she felt weird vibes. Are these the vibes of a demon? More than likely. Number 4. A ghost hunting group called No Fear Paranormal lives up to their name while exploring a haunted cemetery with a K2 meter, a spirit box, and some recording equipment. The name of the haunted place they're exploring is the Tonopah Cemetery in Nevada. They ask it a question, but apparently whatever is nearby has only one topic on its mind.
Can you tell us how many of us are out here? How many people are in the cemetery?
A scary voice of a man comes through their paranormal equipment and calmly responds with 2
Yadi,
words.
what's up? How you
A
doing?
demon. I'm not sure if this is a real ghost EVP or
Jugs,
not,
why
but the
are
way it
you
immediately
giving
tells
that
them that
look?
a demon is nearby is frightening to say the least, and possibly more than a creepy coincidence. Number 3. After the residents of this manor kept experiencing paranormal activity, YouTube team Exploring with Fighters was invited here to investigate. Dan initiates the investigation by informing the spirits about the paranormal devices being used. He invites them to communicate with the team, and they do.
There's also something behind that door in the bathroom. If you go near it, it will go off and let us know that you're here. Thank you.
They hear another device go off in a separate room.
Oh, REM pod's going off. No one's in there as well.
What's up?
This spirit seems to have stage fright. Still, he triggers the REM pod again.
I'm just gonna go and grab my other camera. Oh,
Should make them more
REM pod's going off.
comfortable. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Hi, Robert. How you doing?
Oh, sure.
This time it goes off for an extended period of time, and then it seems the spirit moves into the bathroom.
Maybe it had
What's
to
that?
shit.
Oh, that was the thingy, movement sensor in the bathroom. Whoa! Hold on a second. Look, it's just died.
But the triggered devices aren't the only evidence the team leaves with. They also take these mysterious Polaroids.
Oh, really?
A second Polaroid captures more
Congrats
spirit figures
on that.
in the window panes.
That's incredible, Yeti.
What do you think of these captures? Well, I can see what the team sees. I think that could just be our collective minds playing tricks on us. But considering all the activity triggered on the paranormal devices in this old manor house, I also tend to believe that something is here. Whether it's the Mad Monk or not is anyone's guess. Number 2. Submitted
Cover,
to the
what's
Chills
up? How you
Narrator
doing?
subreddit by Hunting the Haunted. This Redditor wrote, "Demonic voice at
Oh,
abandoned
thank you.
insane
I appreciate
asylum."
that.
Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
My name's
Oh,
Ash.
gotta get it
This
out.
is the
Yeah.
Horror Haven. I play a variety of games, but mainly horror. I also sing, dance, and create art from time to time. And we are huge advocates for mental health. We're creating another sleep token painting.
There was certainly some discussion about this video in the comments. Paranormal Psychic wrote, "If this is actually real, this is probably the clearest EVP possibly ever." While Shuddering Shannon wrote, it said, "Go grab the camera," in a mischievous
It is
child's
scary.
voice. Did you hear the demonic voice? If so, what do you think it said? Let me know in the comments. Would you stick around here? I've seen enough horror movies to know that it's best to get out before it's too late. What's interesting about this image is the scary figure it showcases. I'd be staying far away from this thing, and that's a promise. This image is currently trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community.
Is it really
I came
this?
across it on a popular YouTube channel that creates content in this language, and I wanted to share it with you. It's a great example of how unique elements of horror can be found all around the world, each with its own twist.
Oh, you a friend of creations?
So
Let's
what
go.
do you think is going on here?
Banned.
And more importantly, do you think it's real or just a clever effect? Let me know down in the comments. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1. A tragic accident left Kelmarsh's Tunnel of Despair closed down to public access, but YouTuber Rob with Scooby is there to view it.
Certainly a lot more sketchier than the first one, with the public access that we walk through.
And it's so insane.
Always good to find an open door.
He lets himself in and enters the Tunnel of Despair. Inside, he explains that a woman had her life taken and is believed to haunt this tunnel.
It's believed that she haunts these tunnels, the Kelmarsh tunnels, as well as the Oxenden tunnels, the down tunnel of the Kelmarsh tunnel. She haunts here. She is believed to be stuck here in the afterlife forevermore.
Is this woman's spirit destined to stalk up and down this tunnel for eternity?
Side with that, I really don't know. But I said the story I've told you about Mrs. Cook is factual to what I believe. Whether she purely got her legs run over, she hit the bridge first, so she was dead before it even happened.
Damn.
All I have to say is, walk toward the light.
What? All right. Well, y'all, what did we think? Are you guys fans of him? Was there anything that completely scared you? That you're like, I never want to watch it again? Hi Jay, hello. Sleep token. Pee pee poo poo you. Pee pee poo poo you. Pee pee poo poo you. Yeah, his voice, he made you angry. Is that what it was, Jugs? He just made you angry. Hi Tish, hello. Okay, my cats are like, come on now. But this is what we got going on so far. We're going to be doing the same thing to... Oh my gosh, please. We're going to be doing the same thing to this one. Obviously, don't look at the hood and all that sort of stuff. None of that is even close to being done. But... We will get there. Mm-hmm. So yes, we will get there. But we're going to be doing the 3D effect on this as well. Those of you that don't know, this is Vessel from Sleep Token. Thank you, Tish. But yes, we are going to be doing that. I wanted to do another one, but obviously in a different color. So, yeah. All right, y'all. So, YouTube, thank you. What kind of paints? Acrylic. Yep. But we are gonna skedaddle here. YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out with us as well today. Don't forget, I will not be streaming tomorrow, Friday, but we'll be back on Monday. Also, I will be uploading shorts and reels every day that I'm gone still. So just so you know, it looks excellent. Thank you. But okay, so is Teapot still on? I love Texas first year I can remember where I'm actually getting oh, damn. Bye, Ash. Have fun with the Reds. I definitely shall.